Well, I'm still about to play a song. Dude. We're gonna play something different. Let's see if they got the clean version. Get it. Oh no, y'all do want to play the clean version. All right, let me find it. What's up, y'all? Let's talk this history. Let's get it popping. This is the best show for that. Damn, where's my computer? I need to change my batteries. Somebody, am I even streaming? Come on, YouTube. Let me know if I'm streaming. Let me see. Yeah, I'm streaming. Where y'all at? Come on, tap in. When you tap in, say something so more people could get it in. Right now, I'm just starting the show. I normally wait 10 minutes. So I know it's going to be slow, but I just was listening to a song I made. I'm looking for the clean version. Dang, I can't find it. All right, let me go someplace. What's up? Say something in the chat. What's up, Ty Key? We're going to get it in. I got some time on my hands. I gotta go right here to find the song. Ain't nobody tapping in. Y'all better tap in. About to have one of them crack live streams. Talking about Black history from Egypt to Oakland, man. From Kemet to Oakland, man. Wherever section y'all want to build on. Feel me? Because they don't understand how important history is. And right about now, while history is under attack, it's ever so much more important that we know and protect our history. Right? That's facts. I don't think there's nothing to be said about that. I'm going to go on and let the people roll in and play this song, man. They must not be ready for the show yet. They must not be ready for the show yet. All right, here we go. Smash Rock Wellington, His Elegance. I'm from Oakland.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
I'm from Oakland, Deep East Oak. 8 deuce hunted with all my folks. You got with the now the look broke. I still let her slide through the stove to smoke. Little wild thing with tone low. We on both grown folks. 2 long ropes swinging like double dutch. Stick shift, double clutch, bruh. But it don't think until they say that's way too much. I'ma make you say you play too much. If it ain't about the money, I don't say too much. And I don't like a if she way too much. You can critique, but try not to hate too much. But I hate how y'all fuck up them old schools. We all original when we rolled up. And no, I ain't hating on dates, but bro, we rock rallies, blowing that cheap paint. The fresh detail make the car shine. Got the peace on, beast mode, Marshawn Lynch. Hard time pimping, getting money in a hurry. Game spiller, Dame Lillard, Steph Curry. Never in a hurry, bro, we ain't about to worry. Paint still wet and the seats look furry. Mama need to take a seat, her words slurring. They tried to see it, get in their eyes, got blurry. I'm from Oakland, Deep East Oak, just like Mark Curry, but I ain't no joke. Just dressed so fresh, blessed, plus we woke. But in the town, ain't no place to dock my boat. I'm from Oakland, like Jason Kidd. And she gon' do some she won't say she did. I'm from Oakland, Paul Pierce, Keisha Coles. If you ain't learned nothing, then at least you know. I'm from Oakland, like Kamala Harris. You the type of make your mama embarrassed. So the only way I'ma compare us, it's like you on the first floor and I'm on the terrace. Oakland, this where the slang came from. Oakland, this where the gang came from in Oakland. No, we don't gang bang in Oakland. We be doing the damn thing. When you in Oakland, Deep East Oak, keep a vest on you like a 3-piece suit. Marshall Ali and GP2, Raphael Sadiq and MC Boo. Jamal Moore, hardcore, you want more? From Sheila E, Hammer to Beta Weeder. I'm an Saw Thompson, Hook Mitchell. I still set up my grill and cook with you. Boots Riley, Kalani, Guapole, Richie Rich, Young Quan from 55th Frog, Ron, Boo, Spud, Booby, E.O., E4, Too Short, Truly, Mark P, fresh up out the feds, Mike P with the dreads. The mechanics is out here so mannish, the niggas panic. Gon' do whatever he say, girl. I'm from Oakland, I hooked up with DJ Girl. DJ Girl, I'm from Oakland, I hooked up with DJ Girl. Yup, DJ Girl. Guys would have hooked up with DJ Girl, I'm from Oakland.
Just in case y'all didn't know, you understand me? East Oakland official in the building. But what's up, dog? I'm ready to have some fun. do this knowledge like we always do at about this time. Let me see, let me go right into the vault. Right into the vault. What's up? Say what's up when you come in so I can see y'all in the chat, man. You know, don't have me out here talking to my Cisnell. I could go deeper into the vault today, but these are just some of the ones that make me laugh, man. On the most entertaining show in America, when we start getting it in, we gets it in. Oh, when they run up on Smash, I document them, man. I document them. I put them in lights. So if you one of the person who think, oh, this dude be saying the ancient Egyptians is black, I dare you to click the link. I dare you to come on the show. I dare you to dialogue. We know what we be doing over here, and we done spoke with some of the best of them, right? So it's fun, but we gonna start off having some fun today. What's up with ATL boy? What's Neuromat? Oh, I ain't even got enough knowledge to debunk Neurat man, because I have not researched that. My first initial aim, I can't just come into something saying I'm a debunker. I would have to see what they say first. You know what I'm saying? Some people who are just permanent debunkers and shit, you gotta already know that they suit up. Because how could you just debunk everything? You would have to choose your topics that are debunkable and then go at those. But if you just think you can prove that everything isn't true, that's crazy, because some things are. But shout out to Sankofa, because I know they said a lot about this Neurock man that might be misleading. I just ain't tapped in on that all the way. Who else gonna say what's up in the chat so we know what's popping, man? I got time to do a good show, man. I don't know how we used to do them old school 8-hour streams, but we would be so deep into a subject, it would take 2 or 3 hours just to get in on the subject. So I'm gonna start off having some fun looking over some of these videos when I was beating the brakes off the Baltimore bully Bobby Banks. You know what I'm saying? It was just funny. And they was trying to maintain the stance that the ancient Egyptians didn't call themselves black. I went further to live. Y'all remember how long I waited? Man, I gotta come back on the screen. Y'all gotta really respect gang sometimes. Like, y'all don't know how to do this shit. You can't just hop out with the information and you ain't really let it soak and marinate. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just hopping out fresh with the information from yesterday. Nah. So when they was first asking me to chime in on the subject, I had to let that soak for a minute. I had to go get all my information together before I could give a qualified opinion on what I thought about the blackness of the ancient Egyptians. And when I went in, it just was over after that. It was just over. And I'm not taking no credit like me, myself, man. We got a gang of people who've been doing this research and getting closer to the truth, looking at primary sources to figure out what's going on, right? So that's where we at. Now, some things that we do as a, I don't want to put this on our people, but some members of our community, we aspire towards things that are bigger than us always, right? I don't think that's just members of our community. Some, quite possibly all people aspire towards things that are bigger than that. But the way that it affects us, we are easily manipulated as a people because of the way that we aspire towards capitalistic things. It don't have to necessarily be, it's not only, it's this admiration isn't exclusive to capitalism. We stretch the bounds of it in anything shiny. You could just take it out of capitalism and just say shiny shit. We still fall victim to shiny things. Literally, something that shines, like a necklace, a diamond. We still fall victim to things that shine. Some rims. Think about that little silly shit sometimes. Motherfucker will give somebody $100,000 because the watch shines. Suppose if the diamonds don't shine that hard, they not no VVS, whatever. They ain't worth that much. So we still, when you heard about the story of Black Caesar, the pirate, that many people don't know nothing about no black. That's why you watching my show. Black history from Kemet to Oakland. At about this time in history, we're going to deal with about 1800s. Black Caesar older than that? 1700s. The legend of the black pirate, Black Caesar. No, he not like Blackbeard. God damn, let me see something, man. Come on, man. I'm going to have to share this video. Because I looked up, I'm like, God damn, what's up? Let me see something. Go to YouTube real quick. Then we're going to talk about this. Y'all don't know the story of Black Caesar? I need new batteries in my keyboard. But I'm about to go check on my YouTube because on this thing I can't even see nothing. I can't tell if I'm on or not, so I'm checking the stream on YouTube real quick. Okay, yeah, I'm on YouTube. There's some people out there. Peace to y'all. I couldn't see none of that. We're going to keep on cooking. We're going to do Black history. We're going to do 1800s because we're talking about how we still fall victim to shiny shit. But remember, I was just talking about capitalism at first and aspiring to things that are higher than us. And then I just minimalized it down to shiny shit. And it still worked. You see, they used to have, first and foremost, let me just say, the resources for most shiny shit is in Africa. Natural, shiny things, gold, diamonds. So the fact that black people can still fall victim to shiny shit is crazy to me. Like, I heard of tales of diamonds littering African beaches and shit at a point in time before the colonialists got there. They're not even really tripping off that. The whole beach shining from diamonds. I've heard tales of this stuff. I can't source that to repeat it, right? But I was going to start talking about Black Caesar and start in this section of Black history at about 1800s. The story of Black Caesar is beautiful, but at the beginning of his story, he's told in the tale to be a wise, heavy-set black man. When encountered by Europeans in Africa on some western coast. I'm just thinking Angola area in my head, but I don't know what particular area. His people see the boat coming on the water. They holding down. I ain't even tripping. Boat come, white men hop off the boat with some what? Somebody write it in the chat. What they hop off the boat with? Some shiny shit, bro. Some shiny objects. This is the real story. White men hop off the boat with some shiny objects. And they ain't trying to take these men by force, nothing. They just got some shiny objects. Gold. I mean, I don't know if it's gold. It was shining. And they like, ooh, this clean. They doing trade right there, and they can't trade. The white men ain't trade the shiny objects. They trading other shit. But they want some of the shiny objects, the black people. Black Caesar and his people. So the white dudes is like, all right, we got some more on the boat. Real talk. This is the story. I'm not saying the story is true. This is the legend of Black Caesar. Okay? So this is when you recall this story. If you say the legend of, some legends are exaggerated. But this is the legend of Black Caesar. So they like it's some more on the boat. Come on the boat, y'all can take it off. Brothers walk on the boat. While they on the boat looking at the shiny shit, they notice it start rocking. And they look up, they go up deck and look, and they sailing off. White boys draw down the guns and it's on. But this ain't just no slavery story. I wouldn't tell you no shit like that. This is the legend of Black Caesar. I wasn't gonna waste your sentiment with a stupid ass slave story. So they draw down on the brothers, got them out to sea. Got them bound, just like the traditional slave story. But they get out to sea, and now Black Caesar made friends or somehow, because they say he wouldn't eat or whatever, all this stuff. And one of the Europeans, they always got this type of shit in the story. Again, this is the story. One of them took a liking to Black Caesar because of how hard he was. Straight up, because of his resilience, right? And so they encounter rough waters, and they come into a hurricane. This is the ancestral hurricane. They come into the hurricane, and all of the white boys on top is like, fuck them down there. They gonna leave them tied up. During the hurricane, if anything happened, fuck it, they lost their stock. That's how they was looking at it, at the black lives. But the one white dude was like, that's on some bullshit. He must have been a precursor to a Quaker or something. He was like, that's on some bullshit. I'm about to go untie him. He didn't say it like that. I'm pretty sure he would have got shot or something. Instead, the story goes, he goes down and unties him while the boat is breaking up. The boat capsizes, and now the pirates and the black men is in the water. Another boat comes, and I'm just probably trying to, because these details I'm going into, I'm helping the story. I don't remember what happened in the gaps, but storytelling is cool as long as you get the most brunt of the legend. The only survivors is Black Caesar and one of his comrades, snatched up by another boat taken to safety. This is the story. Now, they become black pirates. The story was only to tell you the part about the shiny shit and getting on the boat. So I could end the story. But since I titled this Black History from Kemet to Oakland, there's no need to end the story. It's perfect. So legend has it. And remember when people say legend has it, that's like saying, you know, it's just a story you learn. Don't be asking for no source and shit. You go find the source on Wiki. Type Black Caesar the Pirate. All right. So legend has it that since they were still in these rough waters, they get rescued, and the navigation skills or the prowess or the wit of Black Caesar help him find ranks on the new boat, whatever. They become pirates. Now, he did so much good pirating, if you want to call it that, in the Atlantic Ocean that the legend of Black Caesar would start to spread to England. Right? And guess what? They don't want to tell you this, and I'm about to put it in ChatGPT to see it's true. We can do this together. And I'm running hard. The British Navy, don't say it was for the Ottoman Turks. The British Navy was not put together for the Ottoman Turks. The British Navy was built up to deal with a black pirate named Black Caesar. So I'm gonna say, was the British? I gotta tell this. Why was first? I'm gonna ask an easy question. Why was the British Navy built up? I know they're not gonna say Black Caesar, but I'm asking that question. Why was it built up? I'm just asking that simple question. It sounds like you're asking when and how the British Navy was built up. Let me give you a clear breakdown. The 16th century to the modern Royal Navy traces its root to Henry VIII, who invested heavily in warships dockyard. All right, now that it's pulling up this history, I'm not about to read it all to you. I'm just going to ask another question. Who, right? I want to see how the legend checks out with, dang, I really need batteries in my monitor. Who was Black Caesar? Seriously, I need batteries right now, like right this second, because I can't type. I'm asking ChatGPT. You can see it right now. I'm about to just go to ChatGPT on the screen and tell me was I making this shit up. Screen big. See, this is one, now let me slow it down. They do this a lot in Hollywood. They have a Black Caesar in Hollywood that is on the internet to mask you from ever getting to the real story. So if you just Google Black Caesar, you're not going to get this information. They're going to take you to some false character they created who was from black exploitation flicks. I just said, after asking them how did the British Navy form up, my next question was, who is Black Caesar? Black Caesar was the name given to more than one historical and legendary figure in the Caribbean and American world of piracy and slavery. The most well-known are Black Caesar the Pirate, not to be confused with Black Caesar the Maroon leader of the 18th century. I said 1700s, remember? He was an African man, likely from West Africa, who was captured and enslaved but escaped. According to the legend, he became a pirate operating in the Caribbean and the Florida Keys it's not a legend, I can prove it. Elliot's Key in the Florida Keys is still there today. That's one of the places where he hid treasure. If we Google Elliot's Key, a lot of the treasure they've been looking for was black people treasure in the Caribbean. Why would it not be? So he sunk some boats there. But look, Now I don't want to give up the story because they're going to tell some of the good part that I was about to tell. So I'm going to come back to this. So this is the story of black people falling for shiny shit and then becoming kings after that and prevailing by stealing all the shiny shit and killing the people who had it, basically. And being so good at doing that you earned your respect in the world. So I was going to ask it about the Navy, but no, I'm just going to say they didn't. They did. It's some stuff to talk about how they built up, because Queen Anne's Revenge was one of the biggest boats commissioned by, was it Ferdinand? No, was it Ferdinand? I need to look over here. I don't know if it even talk about that. It was one of the biggest boats commissioned at that time, and it was the boat that went after Blackbeard's boat. But they don't tell you the true story of Blackbeard. Blackbeard, so this is what happened. It was only 3 real forces on that part of the water at a time. If you go more east, you might have had to deal with the Ottoman Turks. But if you was going more westward, which is more piratey area towards the unknown areas, more like, you know what I'm saying, towards the Americas, you run into Black Caesar now or Blackbeard at the same time period. This is the people you'd be scared of on the water. If we was about to ride out on the boat, we'd be, you know how right now you about to go to LA, you worry about the Crips or the Bloods. The same sentiment on the water. We, on our naval vessel, we about to go one way. Yeah, we about to go one direction. We be worried about either, at this time period, Blackbeard, who was an English pirate and not black, or Black Caesar, who was an African pirate who was black. Now check this out. Black Caesar was so hard, and his crew was African hard. Like, you know the hard you feel inside yourself when you feel like you hard? All that's DNA and in the ancestral. Let me tell you a story. Blackbeard, the white boy with the black beard, he was dominating the waters. But just like we would have been looking out for Blackbeard and Black Caesar, Blackbeard was looking out for Black Caesar. And I ain't gonna take nothing away from Blackbeard to say that Black Caesar was looking out for him too, but I'm gonna tell you more of the story to prove that they didn't give a fuck about no Blackbeard. Because there was one island that nobody could go on. Who knows the name of that island? One island in America, nobody could go on. It was a pirate island. And you get robbed, you get all your shit took, even if you floated past the island. I remember the name of the island, and I'm trying to see if somebody else do. It's in North Carolina. Yep, an island in North Carolina. I think it was called, let me look it up. It's called Ocracoke, in my memory. Ocracoke. Watch this. What is Ocracoke Island? What is Ocracoke? Ocracoke. Island. They gonna know what I'm talking about. It's Ocracoke Island. Watch this. I spelled it wrong, and it's looking on the web. There isn't any Ocracoke Island. I would say, Virginia? What was North Carolina Blackbeard's island called? North Carolina, I said it right. Ocracoke, man, it is called Ocracoke. But you spell it okra like the food and coke like some stuff that dope things take. Ocracoke. Ain't that what I said up here? I said Okie. Yes, Ocracoke. So Ocracoke Island is the island. Now let me come back to bed. Now, on this island, the British would get their boats stolen for trying to ride up on Ocracoke. Matter of fact, this is how Blackbeard stole Queen Anne's revenge. Let me make sure that's right too. This is how Blackbeard, I'm gonna tell the story, fuck make sure shit right. This is how Blackbeard stole Queen Anne's revenge. They thought they could run up on Ocracoke. That can't be wrong. How did, I don't like saying shit wrong. Blackbeard get Queen Anne's revenge. If it was Queen Anne's Revenge, that's the boat that came and got him after. Yeah, no, I'm right. Queen Anne's Revenge is Blackbeard's most famous ship, and he wasn't the original owner. See, you a pirate, you go take that shit. He took it from it was a French slave ship. Queen Anne ain't British. It was a French slave ship. I'm reading it. The vessel began as a French slave ship called the La Concorde. Okay. Built around 1710 in England. It was sold to the French and used to transport enslaved Africans. See, white boys, it was some white boys, they call them pirates. They don't like them to look decent in society. Bruh, do you know that black and white pirates used to be banging together? Banging together. Running up on the man. That's how they was doing it, man. Y'all motherfuckers got it, man. I'm about to hit the jump. With no racism really on the waters. Now that sounds stupid, huh? See, when you crossing the waters, right, you are going through some other people's territory. Who territory are you going through? You're going through pirate territory, people who live on the water. I don't even want to be on the screen like that while I'm chilling. I'm going to put it on the big screen. So the pirates, hold on, during the slave trade, who were some of the biggest people freeing Africans? Black and white pirates, bruh. Running up on slave ships, killing them slave traders, and taking the whole boat. Guess what they did when they took the boat? I could come on the screen, y'all ain't tripping. Guess what they did when they took the boat? Freed the Africans. Well, the story I got let me know that they freed the Africans when they took the boat. They probably didn't do it in every instance. But the pirates would take the Africans and then add them to their pirate crew. You feel me? Hold on, I gotta check something real quick. Real quick. The pirates would, European, no matter what they was, because they wasn't under that law. They wasn't messing with that. So that was a problem for the slave trade. And it also freed a lot of Africans who were naval and definitely found their way to the West as free men. One of them in particular I'm talking about is Black Caesar. The hurricane freed him and he was free, and they took boats and actually, they supposedly rode up on this other boat, just two men on the boat, and took the boat. But I don't want to stretch the story out so far, so let me continue. We was all the way up to Ocracoke Island. Now, nobody could run up on Ocracoke Island, bruh. The government, nothing. They was too new. There was a pirate island. Guess who said, hey, get where we going tonight? Black Caesar, bruh. And his group of men said, guess what he said? He was like, hey, I got a plan. They was like, what's up, bro? He was like, bro, we about to go over and run up on them white boys. He was like, oh man, they kind of hard over there. He was like, so what? They fucks with us. Watch this. Black Caesar knew that Blackbeard was gonna fuck with him. So they pull up on the island with their pirate flag up, not getting shot on. They get to the island and we got a fat pirate party cracking. Blackbeard's men and the Africans who just rolled up at least 40 deep. How I know they was 40 deep? Because we got the logs from Blackbeard's boat. We got everything. We got the log that proved it wasn't no racism on the boat. Or at least they wasn't trying to get down like that. So what happened was they hooked up so hard at the party and Blackbeard took such a liking to Black Caesar. Blackbeard had the better boat and it fit more people on it. It was the Queen's Anne's Revenge stolen from the French in that time period to say over there, right? So they knew plan after the party was we going out on Queen's Anne's Revenge. We about to go get it in. One crew now. Black Caesar and Blackbeard. Blackbeard was still the chief pirate and Black Caesar was made as lieutenant or second in command. This is how we got this, right? I'm way too far in the story. I want to tell another story because we already learned about falling for shiny shit. That's how the story started. They got taken into slavery, fell for the shiny stuff, right? But let's go on and continue because we're chilling. After there was a man, I think his name is Robert Maynard. Robert Maynard. Let me Google that. Who is Robert Maynard? Robert Maynard was the governor, the one who ran up on them. Bertman. Who's Robert Maynard? Oh, Robert Maynard. I just typed. I think you mean Robert Maynard, the British naval officer famous for killing Blackbeard. Robert Maynard. So he was knocking down. They was knocking down everything. And then here comes this guy, Robert Maynard, who wasn't no punk, right? And he managed to, I think it was some naval, the way that so the guns on the Queen's Anne's Revenge were, they on the side of the boat. But they was at harbor and they wasn't parked. Like they wasn't docked in a way to where their guns would have been effective had they seen a boat creeping up or whatever. And the angle that Robert Maynard took to come in supposedly rendered the guns on their boat useless. So they probably shooting at the boat, doing whatever, but they got cannons off their boat. And they was able to come and smash on, I think this happened in the harbor of Ocracoke Island. And they was able to smash on Edward Teach, who was Blackbeard, and Black Caesar and their crews after they did a lot of work. This wasn't just right after the party. Like they had ran hella missions, Blackbeard and Black Caesar, probably for some years. But then comes Robert Maynard, the hero in the story, who was able to come up on the boat. Now, this story is even drastic too, because I think it was something about Black Caesar was trying to sink the boat, because I'm starting to lose the end of the story, but they wound up getting hung and stuff. They wound up getting hung, but in the end of the final finale, when they shooting out on the boat, if I can recall, Black Caesar goes down and tries to do something. Yeah, whatever. But anyway, you could. I hope I told you enough of the legend of Black Caesar to incite you to go hear the story from a more better qualified source. I'm just trying to inspire you to know what's up. I'm not falling for the shiny shit. So I whipped out some history. And it's reason why it's good to know history because you could tell the same damn story over a campground as soon as some shit shine and be like, oh, let me tell you the story about Black Caesar the pirate. All right? But if you want to do some more research of that, what we call the Florida Keys, that was all owned by Black Caesar too. You wasn't coming up in no keys. Now let me ask them, where is Elliot's Key? Where are some of the areas? And you're gonna be surprised that Black Caesar patrolled the whole Florida Keys. Good question. Now they talking about the pirate from the 1700s. Florida Keys is the first thing to say. Watch this. You didn't know that all that stuff is that they just took that, bruh, and made that their jiggy areas. All these jiggy areas we know they was taken from indigenous people, but let's just talk about this. Black Caesar operated mainly around the Florida Keys. So you trying to tell me it was a black pirate when they was bringing slaves into the Florida Keys that was freeing them slaves and taking them back to his island? And then they would take the white people and sell them too. They wasn't selling the black people. There's no account of them doing no slave accounts. They would sell the white people. On what island? All right, let's see if this is true. I'm gonna say, did Black Caesar enslave white people? See, the slavery shit was just something people was doing then. That's a really sharp question. The figure we call Black Caesar is tangled in both history and folklore, and the answer depends on which version of the story you're looking at. That's a very good answer. The historical record, he appears in the colonial trial documents as one of Blackbeard's lieutenants. I told you, captured at Oakland, North Carolina. Those records don't say much about his early career. Folklore stories claim that before joining Blackbeard, he had a base in the Florida Keys. But that's just what you just told me is fact 10 seconds ago. So let's keep going. Caesar's Rock. Yeah, that's where we're going to go. Caesar's Rock. And from there, he and his crew wayland ships. According to the legend, they sometimes took women captive and held them on the island. See, they want to just say women. Well, I got a different account they're trying to use out he said they described, all right, these accounts are not strongly documented, but they do suggest he enslaved or coerced Europeans, usually described as women. Well, they told us this place that I forgot about. Caesar's Rock. Dude, I'm going to go put this in Google right here. Caesar's Rock, and watch what happens. Bow straight to Wiki. Straight to the Florida Keys, bruh. I'm trying to tell you it was crazy. So right off his rock right around here, in these areas, Black Caesar was holding all this down. But particularly in that area, they also go searching for treasure. And you don't know when they're looking for treasure in the Florida Keys, they're looking for the treasure of a black pirate. All right, that was just to start off. We just started off like that. I ain't got much more on that. But that's the shiny story. So those type of stories, there's a lot to learn from them. There's a lot to learn first about the allegorical parts, you know what I'm saying, or whatever parts that could be just romanticized. Ask why they are there in the story. Like if the shiny part ain't true, I'm going to do something really good for y'all today to show you how we do this knowledge. something that somebody bit my information and they seen me say this before and they went and wrote almost like a whole book on it, bruh. Real talk. But I'm the source of this information, but I'm not the information I'm about to talk about. I'm not the true source of the information. What I am is the one who figured it out in modern times. And I'm not saying that pretentiously, I can prove it. So the person who, because it wasn't on the internet until I figured it out. And now if you got some knowledge, you probably know about it too, and you probably read it from another source, and you don't know that Smash was the one, this free information disseminator that sometimes be true about some real ass shit. You know what I'm saying? About that people be studying. Like they be like, damn, that's fucking true. And we just sitting here talking. They take that and monetize that. So let me show you. Damn. Let me show you. It's not about nothing from Black. Damn, man. I'm gonna show you in a minute. But they say Ponce de Leon. Let me see. Search for the Fountain of Youth. Shit they don't tell you in high school. And used to love Florida, being all it up and down the East Coast and dabbling in the West. All right. Man, my thought left me and I was waiting for it to come back. I could wait for some more time. I'm mad though, because I'm smoking and it messed up my short-term memory. Let me see. Disney. No, I got distracted by some comments too and it threw me off. Let me stop. What are you even talking about, bro? Tampa Bay, Disney. Like, why are you commenting that? I'm just saying. It's just a distraction. Are we talking? Oh, we was talking about Florida. Yeah, okay. But Tampa Bay, Disney, and all that, yeah. You said you was talking about they bit your your words. No, not my words. It was a piece of research I contributed. Thank you for refreshing that. It was a piece of research I contributed, and I didn't want it to be pretentious how I showed that I was the source of that information. But then they started changing it, right? They started, so you got me, you distracted me, and then you retracted me. Because to be distracted is to be knocked off track. And then you retracted. Appreciate that. Yeah. But we do that often, and you know what I mean? It is what it is. We've done that a few times inside of Egyptology a little bit, to where they started changing their argument and putting it on the internet in a different way after you put it out there that way. So it is what it is. Who in the building? Anybody else in the building? I'm trying to see. I can't see who out there. I gotta go to the YouTube to see what's going on in the business. Oh, okay, some people out there. Let me see if I can see that chat. Yep, I see it over here. It's the same thing. Yeah, it make you not. So here's the thing. I disseminate some information and just do it the way I do it without trying to capitalize it so that it could spread. So if somebody's spreading it, it's cool. But then, you see, oh, they go package it up into a capital, to capitalize off it in some way. You be like, damn, for real? It's all good. So yeah, let's keep it popping. Y'all can see what I'm looking at over here. I'm gonna go back to this chat GPT. But it ain't really nothing over there that I was telling you that whole Black Caesar story from memory and just was trying to recant and do what I could do about that. You know what I'm saying? I often like to All right, so one thing, this ain't what I was about to show. But some of the contributions y'all help us make on this channel, unearthing, thinking about how they came up with that black silk stuff. That's new to the field. That's new. And that's a gotcha question for Egyptologists. Most Egyptologists aren't prepared for you to start probing that. And we decided to start doing that on this channel. And we came to some good conclusions that, ain't no source for that. That hadn't previously been established. And all of us who research together on this channel could credit ourselves for contributing that piece of information to the field, because it's useful in trying to understand what Kemet was all about. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter though. I don't want no credit for nothing like that. It's just help the information get out. You feel me? Now, Eliot's Key, I'm going to leave Black Caesar alone, but I'm just going to enclose it and say, it wasn't just Eliot's Key. They say he was West African. So he made his way in the legend, he made his way to the Americas after the hurricane, would have been with whatever new boat he took, right? And they don't like to link him and be in that area to the tales of the Black Maroons. But just by coincidence, in the same area of Florida, we got the legend of a Black Caesar who supposedly wasn't related to the other Black Caesar, who was a Maroon warrior. That would be something else to look into if you was interested in that topic that we building on. This Maroon warrior Black Caesar. Well, yeah. I'm looking at the chat. Shout out to Shares Moves for taking over the chat, man. It's going to say number 1 on your thing in a minute. You got the number 2, you about to get the number 1. If that's how that works, appreciate you for keeping the comments going. And so I'm not going to jump back that far in history. Really, I'm going to go all the way back. I'm going to go all the way back right now just to do something hella fast. When they be talking about prehistoric man and how man lived for 300,000 years, and then we got Homo sapiens sapien and all this, what have you, they tell you all that happened in Africa. We got them time periods. Then we got the intermingling with the Neanderthals happening about 40,000, 30,000 years before present. Right? And then we got this that was part of one of the outer African migrations, right? And then we got tales of back migrations back in the Africa. This is all Black history. We got tales of back migrations back in Africa before the time that we have this skin mutation gene that allowed for extremely light skin or skin that lack melanin. I mean, that only has melanin at very low levels. Before that skin mutation occurred, we got some migrations back, and we actually boxed up somebody who used to use that as the reason why the ancient Egyptians wasn't Black. That argument, dude, y'all be letting people talk in circles. You using back migrations to say the ancient Egyptians ain't Black, but the back migrations happened before skin mutated and was allowed to even become that light. or before genes mutated. And then we get this new gene, which y'all be saying SLC245 gene, right? Something like that, which allow for these particular mutations. But anyway, so we got some Africans that left coming back in. And the latest one of those migrations, where they try to call them back migrations, about the time of the Natufians, right? Now, we have dental records to show that the Natufians did a particular thing with their teeth that nobody else did, besides who? A particular group of Nubians. They filed their teeth in the same way to where when you look at the dental remains of some Natufians, you can mistake it for, and we're talking about 9500 BC, you can mistake the dental remains of some Natufians with some other sub-Saharan Africans. All right? Nubians. Forget sub-Saharan and all that stuff. So, how you using the Natufians? We took everything away from these fools. If you have this conversation with anybody who trying to act like they going in, this all the shit they gonna be bringing up. Now they trying to throw in some neurot, man. Y'all done already missed 1,000 bricks. I don't even want to hear nothing. Like, do you think somebody could ball after they brick that many times? No. You be like, you just like me. You normal. We could go to the court and play anytime. So after this, they would like to argue that these people back migrated in at time periods before the ancient Egyptians could even document it. But we read primary text in this original language and they be lying. Not the primary text, these other people. You can find in the ancient Egyptian text almost close to the exact date when they start being like, all right, let me ask you this. Can you go through American historical documents and find the exact time when America said, man, what's up with all these Mexicans? I'm just speaking like I speak. They try not to say that's what they saying. That's what they saying. They on some racist ass shit. They just be like deportation. They find other words that mean the same shit. So what's up with all these immigrants? They're not tripping off all immigrants. They throw some other ones in there to make it be cool, but they really been, Trump wasn't building a wall for all immigrants. Build a wall on Canada's side. So you was just tripping off Mexicans. Now, could we go through the history and pinpoint the time when America, by looking at our primary sources and our text, could we pinpoint when America start tripping on Mexicans? Not the people like us. We definitely not tripping. We know this was y'all shit at first. But the people tripping is the motherfuckers who always be tripping. We could find out that when President Donald Trump came into office, he started building a wall. It don't matter if it's 1,000 years later, we still could find that out if we got the primary text and we could read the original language. So we can, using our modern time, we know that 100 or 200 years from now, people could look back and say, this is exactly when America, if they wanted to use this moment, you could go back to the America taking California from Mexico and pinpoint any of these moments. But you won't be able to escape that they will be able to say that. Well, that's how history serves us. Documented history serves us in that regard, to where I could tell you
The ancient Egyptians said, who is these Asian motherfuckers? Man. And why so many of them? They did not say, who is these Nubians? And why is there so many of them? Because that was they uncles, aunties, grandmas, and grandfathers. But they was on some YE, some young Egypt, some young YK, they was some young, I don't even know why y'all let that YN stuff run around like that. But they was on some new hype, on their Egypt hype. They wasn't on the Nubia hype. We got something new, we doing something new. We going downstream and we gonna get it popping different. That's why you see so much cultural entanglement. That's why they tell you stupid stuff in Egyptology. That your brain, when you start training your brain, you can notice stupid scholastic statements. That they get to reign supreme in academia until you start being a thinker. You be like, oh, I could debunk that. I could write a whole paper on that. That's stupid. Let me give you an example. We often repeat this statement. It's so stupid if we analyze it. And the more and more that I think about what I'm about to say, all my neurons is firing off how this is just so dumb. Nubians, this is how it's said. Nubians and Egyptians chose the same symbols for kingship. Think of how dumb that is. Don't try to probe it like you learned something new and fanciful. Just think about all the overlap in that statement. There's no language extant on the earth at this time period, because we find this on 3600, going back 3600, Gunther, was it Gunther Dreyer or Bruce somebody? Maybe it was Gunther Dreyer who put the Ciali seal back to 1300. Oh, I'm sorry, to 3600. Where we find one symbol, right? We find a couple of symbols on it. We almost could read it. But the symbol of scrutiny is called, what my brother put in the chat, the white crown of Upper Egypt. Behold, let's just stop right there. Am I illustrating how stupid this is? No, you don't get it? Well, the symbol that two particular cultures supposedly chose for kingship is called the white crown of Upper Egypt. So some shit should be breaking down in your logical mind right now if it's working. You should be saying geographically and physically and in reality, how could that work? If I got the crown of Upper Egypt, what y'all got? It's just one crown of Upper Egypt. It's a white crown. But since they find it in the Nubian areas first, they don't want to say the first Egyptian kings was actually Nubians. They divide the people up into some fake two different cultures that wasn't at 3600 BC. There's no Egypt. There is a region of gold, and the word gold is nup. So Ea is Greek. You can say Latin, right? Ea is Greek and Latin, but Ea is Greek. So Nub Ea still may be giving reference to the area Like George E.A. is giving you an area of George. Nubia is giving you an area of gold. But we're going to leave off the E.A. and just deal with the Nu. 3600 BC, we find a symbol in the area of gold. Ain't no Egypt. It ain't even, Tasseti wasn't even taken over by the YNs or the Y youngsters who said, we going downstream and we going to set something up new. They hadn't done that yet. So how you telling me they chose the same symbols of kingship when you don't find that symbol in the areas called Egypt at that time period? The areas that would later be called Egypt at that time period. This symbol, the most prevalent symbol for Egyptian kingship geographically and dealing with the borderlines, ain't an Egyptian symbol. It was not found first in Egypt. The Neanderthal man, the skull of the Neanderthal, was found in Germany, in a valley. That's what a thal is. A thal is a valley. Neander is the name of the valley. Neanderthal is this man from this valley, only where they found the archaeology, not saying that he was indigenous to that valley, Neanderthal. They named it like that. I'm just explaining some naming conventions so we can understand certain things and how it works. But anyway, if we suggest that ancient Egyptians and Nubians chose the same symbols for kingship, we should ask, how did that process transpire? In reality, was it some quote unquote Nubians who had a meeting and they said, hey, this is our symbol for kingship? And some people was downstream, and out of all the symbols in the world, they choose the same symbol? Hey, this our symbol for kingship. Ooh. Hey, bro, they use that down the river, up the river. So, we gonna call ourselves Egyptian kings. Now that I'm going this far with it, I'm illustrating how stupid that is. Because you can't tell me how it transpired in real life. How do two separate cultures choose the same symbol for kingship before writing is a thing? One thing we know, the possibility of this happening would happen for both of those two people to witness the same kingly figure wearing that crown. That's a possibility. Then they could go off left and they could go to the right and they could both reference back to the figure who wore that crown and say, this is the symbol. This is logic. How else could they do it? Not too many logical ways. So if you find it first and only find it in Nubia And some people, the first logical way that we have to peruse, it would have two people who would eventually become culturally or cliquey separate as far as cliques is concerned, right? And they both witnessed the same thing, and then the other clique kept on using that, right? How else could that happen? There's no other way. So this is all fake. No, they didn't choose the same symbols for kingship. Nubians, it would have it that the southern contingency in the areas of gold, I gotta take off my shoes, I'm cooking. The southern contingency in the areas of gold used that symbol first, and they also set up the proto form of metal nature. That's the facts. That's what the archaeology should tell us, not what the archaeologist wants to tell us. The archaeologist is going to tell you, oh, this must mean they chose the same Kimberley ship because 1,000 years later, we find this in Egypt. No. That ain't how that happened. Excuse me. My ear itch, dog. Yeah, man. It get ridiculous. It get ridiculous that some of these people, some of these hired agents, some of these followers of the new state-sponsored attack against Afrocentrism, some of the black followers of those attacks, them suckers that I was just knocking down, that don't even get paid for it, they poverty posting. Because they don't even get paid for it. They slander blackness, and it's a state that sponsors what you're doing, and they're paying their people to do it. And you just helping them do their job. To slander Afrocentrism is what they is trying to do. The state sponsoring it is Egypt. This was revealed by the Tahiri Institute of the Middle East in a document you can readily pull up if you ever Google, if you ever research, not just Google, but if you ever research neo-Pharaonism. You see that with your own eyes. Instagram, Twitter, these are their playing fields. This is where they at. But they stay the hell off my YouTube. But they trying to get up to speed. So they just said that they're going to start. They started since 2020 teaching kids in Egypt the metal nature in grade school now. So that in the next 20 years, they could effectively pull off their lie better. Why? Because of people like us. Because they, in the meetings that, I can tell you they hold meeting, I'm clairvoyant in that regard. I can always tell you what some suckers are saying who plotting against me. I just know what they saying. I can hear the shit. So in the meeting, they already know we got the upper hand. So this is why they stay away from people like me, because they're going to lose right now. So they got some dirty work to do. First, they got to get people up to speed with their little detractors and shit. They got to get them up to speed with the ancient Egyptian language. We better than them at it. We are. Now, not better than everyone, but I'm talking about the state-sponsored movement. You ain't never heard Zahi Hawass try to do nothing in the ancient Egyptian language. He would have been trying to do some shit like that if he could. Stop playing. Like, come on, dog. And so what they doing is they stepping themselves up to get beyond knowing keywords like Mayat, Amen, Asar. Some people learn keywords and they act like they could read the ancient Egyptian language to you too. I had an Egyptian try to do that to me, one of these new Egyptians, and I was with my daughters, and I wanted to just give him the respect he deserved for trying to street hustle me and tell me that these Egyptian portraits that he had said something in particular, not knowing he was talking to me. I said, that shit don't say that. That motherfucker looked at me like, how did he say that with such confidence? Then I started reading it for him. Shit don't say that. You don't even know. He had a Tadak Amen. So he the Egyptian I know everything seller. He got all the papyrus, all that shit. Then he want to act like he know how to read it. That's where he fucked up. I step into the booth with my daughters, so he really fucked up. You not about to outdo Pops, you tripping. Hey, why this fool want to get to reading Tadak Amen name wrong? In front of my daughters and shit. I said, they don't say that. He pointing and showing us and instructing the black people, trying to get me to buy the shit. He like, yeah, Tadak Amen, this is, you know who that is? This is King Tut. Daughters all happy. Ooh. I said, man, I don't say that. The motherfucker look like, huh? Said, bae. I looked at my daughters. I said, bae, that don't say that. Now it's a little conflict. It's the man right here, my daughters, and me. And instead of giving my daughters some of that type of conflict, I showed them how to correct him respectfully. And I was like, nah, you are right that this is about Tadak Amen, but in that cartouche, which we call a shinu, I start hitting him, which we call a shinu in the ancient Egyptian language, that don't say Tadak Amen. I beat his brakes. He was like, what it say? I swear to God, in front of my daughters. And I say, this says Neb Keperu Ra, which was actually one of his other names. Neb Keperu Ra Tadak Amen. I had to hit him off just like that. He said, come on, and didn't buy it. And walked off with my daughters. They was rolling, dog. When we got out down the booth, my daughters was like, I was like, don't ever let nobody swindle you. Telling you some shit, they expect you not to have knowledge. And we just cut. All right, I'm about to look at what my man is showing me. He say, look at this bullshit when you can. Shout out to Yurik. He always got something hot. Yeah, that was hella funny, that moment. Hold on, I just put it up. It took me back to a YouTube, though. Egyptian Museum, Cairo. Let me see. I'll go to the site. Verifying I'm not a robot. We almost in there. Hold on, man. What they doing here? Painted wood servant statue of Neonk Pepi Kim. Okay. So did they repaint it? Well, we could talk all about this. But the painted wooded servant statue. So tell me what exactly, because I've looked at this a few times. Tell me what I'm about to see what they trying to do right here. It says striding statue of the porter, Neonk Pepi Kim, servant of Neonk. What? Are they serious? Servant of Neonk Pepi, it says carrying the backpack, perhaps the medical bag, and the blanks of the forward motion indicate the stride illustrate his eternal portering service for his master, Neonk Pepi. Are they serious? See, this be the type of shit I be talking about. They are literally trying to say that Kim means servant. Oh, yeah, because if you look, oh my God, oh, let's stop this forever. So now black means servant. So now black, the word black means servant. Well, they got problems with that. That wouldn't go about no one. That's just stupid. So Kemet was the land of servants. I thought Kemet didn't mean that. Oh my God, they be doing way too much in these museums. So giving too much respect to your museum, scholars don't do that like people on these pseudo teams and shit. You know what I'm saying? The museum is one of the places where they showcase their lies and shit. And the front foot represents his service, yeah. But there's so much to be said about this host. So Neon Peppy Kim, and I think they messing this all up. They really messing this all up. And I'm gonna pull up the work. Like we gonna pull up the work in 2 seconds, bro. That ain't, like this ain't no shit we ain't dealt with before. But I want to prove, first I'm going through my memory because I studied all this. So before I start pulling stuff up, I want to see something in my head. Now, what I'm perusing is, there's this family I call the Blacks. The reason why I call them the Blacks is because in the book where I learned about them, the secondary source, it was called The Rock Tombs of Mi'er. And when you're reading, it's not a hard read. It's like a research book with more, a lot of real pictures of the attestations and the tombs and everything. Now, I'm asking myself first, which I know the answer to, is Ni Ankh Pepi Kim a member of the Black family? So, before I look at any sources, I'm gonna answer that question. See, there is a Ni Ankh Ha'u Isis, the Black, that's not a member of that family. But they're called, oh my God, this is gross. Ni Ankh Pepi Kim I wrote about this. I know this material. Let me just, before I Google this stuff, they messed this up, dog. That's his brother. Yeah, all right. I'm confident now enough to pull up some sources. That's his brother, bro. Like, why would they do this? Oh, because of this type of shit. See, this ain't even Europeans doing this. This is Arabs. This is the Arabization. This is the attack on blackness. So the word black, because look, me belonging to, me. So let me show y'all something. We know this shit. You can't even mess with us, dude. I mean, I'm not being pretentious. I'm refuting stuff and I'm being messed with. And I'm saying you can't mess with me. I'm not saying that like I'm hot shit. But I am dumb. What's the matter with that? Now look. Ni, belonging to. All right? Ni. This is actually, we're going to start off the name to tell you the structure of this name. This name starts with a genitival adjective. All right? So, Ni Ankh don't even really work. It says belonging to life. Ni Ankh Pepi. So now we know this is the life belonging to Pepi. Neon Pepi. Someone will say, hold up, what does Pepi mean? I'm taking Pepi as a personal noun because they all lived during the time period of the Pepis. Right? So I don't want you to think in what they're giving you servitude here. Servant of Neon Pepi. Well, the only thing they left out, they put Neon Pepi here. The only thing they left out was the Kim. So we was trying to see how they came to the conclusion. They're trying to, by way, just like my brother say, let us know that this Kim, to them, they're trying to equate it to some type of servitude. But let me show you how we are able to simply, because we studied this shit for a long time. And if you just remember me saying it once, and then I show you it's right, then you won't mess up for the rest of your life. This comes from the work of Albert Blackman in the Rock Tombs of Mier. So let's go there. The Rock, Tombs of Mier. Is the I before the E? Mier. No, the I ain't before the E. The Rock Tombs of Mier. But what we want is this. Blackman, AM, that's Albert something Blackman. The Rock Tombs of Mier. Now let's check this out. See how they be lying. So this is what you want to say. This is, where is it at? Is it still there before? Damn, I shouldn't have did it on the same page. I'm going to copy this and go back so I can reference both. This here is the work of state-sponsored Egyptian Arab work. This is an attack on Afrocentrism, but you just can't understand it. The reason why this is even here is because of our work. This isn't the one I was going to show you earlier, and I stopped showing you because I don't like people to be like, he on some arrogant shit. Anybody can tell you that they had to come up with this dumb shit because of what we've been saying about it. But whatever. Let's keep it popping. Maybe not. Let me show you what we're standing on. We're using the European against the Arab because in this fight, the European chose black people. Y'all just got to see what the hell going on. And I'm speaking so frankly that you just better be able to digest it. In the fight over Egypt, when Sheikh Anta Diop knocked the European out of contention for being the ancient Egyptian, then the European didn't want to give it to the Arabs after that. They said, fuck it, if it ain't us, right, and it's out of these black people and these Arabs, our new literature is going to give it to the black people. That's why we are where we are today, to where there's a bunch of new white Egyptologist women that are not afraid to say what they say, because they say, fuck it, it wasn't white people no more. But they damn sure not giving it to the Arabs. From what the information, and when they look over it, that's why they're saying it's the, but no, we're going to see why it's the black family when we start. See, on my show, it might sound like I'm taking liberties and making puns, but then I'm about to show you the secondary source material right here. And inside the secondary source material, we can see the primary source material. So this is the secondary source, the Rock Tomb of Mier. Now let me go. This is only book 1. We want to start getting around book 4 before we could digest this. But I'm going to show you what we can learn from just looking at book 1. And I'm going to try to get to kind of like some areas that I know. Now remember, we're investigating Pepi Kim. And I think they got that name all messed up, and I'm about to prove it. And just so happened that by the grace of my research, it's rewarded me with the ability to be able to refute. There you go. That shit on the spot. Man, stop playing with me. Make this shit bigger, blood. Cats can't do that. Now anyone watching my show can. See? This is why they stay away from over here. Because they representative that they would have sent wouldn't even have been able to tell you where they got that shit from. But we gonna tell you off the top of the dome because we archers. Now I want you to see something. Happy the what? The black. But I want you to see something for real. You have to note the details. The list of the decor in the tomb chapels at Mi'er and Kushiria, if I said that right, El Amarna, right? I said fourth, I messed that up. 6th dynasty chapels. Now look at this. Ni Ankh Pepi, also called Ni, so he's also called that. This other Ni Ankh, right? This other Ni Ankh is his different name. Ni Ankh Mer-en-Ra. Both of these are kings from the 6th dynasty. Pepi and Mer-en-Ra. Therefore, now we getting some ode to what his name is. You feel me? And it said, and whose good name are Sebek Hotep, and what else? Happy the Black. So, remember when I was thinking for a minute? I swear my neurons did not betray me. They told me that Ni Ankh Pepi Kim is just Happy the Black that we always be talking about. We talk about Happy the Black and Happy the Black. Those are two different people. Remember, Happy and Happy, we're going to look and see why we see some differences in there. There's also, we just established that that's another person. Ni Ankh Pepi and Ni Ankh Mer-en-Ra is the same person, and they also got another name, 2 other names. They're his good names. And his good names are Sebek Hotep and Happy the Black. Now watch when we get to his brother. When they say his servant. So they say the one with the Kim on his name is the servant. But you see he got a Kim on his name already. It's on his good name. The black represents Kim. All right? That's how you say Kim in ancient Egyptian. So if he got the black over there, they're saying he got a name called Happy Kim. And they're telling you to see picture 9. But I want to make this smaller and show something else. We're going to get to the brother. He's in the reign of Pepi the First. Watch this. We're going to go look at some other people. Now look at this. See, they don't even know what they be talking about. Look at this. Mi'er A number 2. Pepi Ankh. Remember I said is another Happy the Black. I forgot. He Henny the Black. But we got to remember what we're looking at because we only dealing with 2 people now. The first one just have 4 names. His name was Ni Ankh Pepi, Ni Ankh Pepi Kim, Sebek Hotep, and the last name he had, which was Happy the Black. Now see, here go the other brother, Pepi Ankh. Not Ni Ankh Pepi. He's not Happy the Black. He's Henny the Black. But when they telling you in their weaponized version, because he got a Kim on here, He the servant of the other one. They didn't know we could do this shit in 10 minutes. That's why they punk ass stay the hell away from over here. They trying to train some old, I'ma know you when I see you. You are the one. You know how Obi-Wan and them see that they know when he's entered the room. He's in the area. I'm gonna know way before I see you. But they still too scared. The last ones that used to hang around Chief X didn't know why they was so scared of me. Like why none of his trolls would ever take me up on any of these challenges. I'm gonna check that out right now, actually. Oh, this is one of those people. Yeah, she's probably on the team, the paid team, but let's listen.
Episode of Artifact Insight.
Or maybe not. Let's see.
This little statue of a man with a backpack and a basket captured my eye when I visited the Egyptian Museum in Cairo last year. Let's look deeper in this episode of Artifact Insight. This is the striding statue of a porter named Nyank Pepi Kem, whose name means servant of Nyank Pepi. You can see him here carrying a backpack.
She really said his name means servant of Nyank Pepi. I have to stop. Because all she's doing is disseminating this. She's not really Egyptologist, so she don't know shit. All those type of people, they can, anybody who rode with the Atras, if y'all can't knock them down, bruh, I know everybody I see in the chat that's an archer, that lady's easy work for you. You ever come across her in her life, she gonna be respecting you highly. Because you're gonna teach her something. And she gonna go back and learn it. That was just state-sponsored bullshit. But she was a European, and I don't know, she might be in deeper. She don't know what she doing. She probably like these little kids. Dude, I was just with two PhD candidates, dude. They were so quiet listening to me. Like, so quiet. They was like, no, just keep, we want to hear more. Because they'd try to pop out their face with some shit. I'm instantly, that ain't true. I mean, well, what's your source on that? Oh, we were just talking about it in class. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That bullshit. Ain't no source on that. She definitely don't know the meaning of a simple word like Kim. If she's going to tell you Nyank Pepi Kim, that the Kim means that he's a servant. But I got him. Because they say here he's the servant of the other one. Right? Striding statue of the porter Nyank Pepi Kim, servant of Nyank Pepi. So, and if he's not the servant of Nyank Pepi, this would clearly make no sense. He's the servant of himself. So I know how they're trying to construct this to say he's the servant of the other one. Now, if you go back to a real source on this, we can still see the other one is also the black. But it don't stop there. This whole family is the blacks. Now look, Mier number 4. Who is Happy the Black? Let's go back a page. Because it's easy to get lost. It took me a long time studying this to grasp it. Happy the Black is the main person they talking about. Remember, look. Nyank Pepi. He got the other name, Nyank Marinra. That's 2 names. Here comes his third name, whose good names are Sebek Hotep. His third name is Sebek Hotep. See, I got Jonathan, I got John, I got Smash Rockwell, Casual. Now, if you order my names, you're going to say Jonathan, then John, then you instantly got to go to Casual. Because that's my other most pronounced name. Right? So think of it the same way. Sebek Hetep, these is good names. Now, we can have a Egyptological conversation on what a good name is. I probably wouldn't be able to tell you all the answers to that. but just as they call it your Nephirim, right? But I don't know the functions of a Nephirim, just like they probably don't, and they're just leaving it at a good name. But it's not like your nickname, or it probably had a function. But his Nephirim was Sebek, Hetep, and Happy the Black. Now remember, I came back here because we also encountered Happy the Black at another portion in the tomb, and I'm trying to let us know that that's still the same dude. Happy the Black, see picture 10. Now at this portion of the tomb, there is a large hall, the roof of which supports 4 pillars in a square section, approached by a small anteroom. Leading out of the hall in the inner room to where there are 2 burial pits. One of them is finished and the other, so they're describing it, but they'll show us it on page 10. So now notice, we already know that Happy the Black is still need Peppy. Now we just got a Peppy, right? And we can read the footnote on this Peppy is number 4. It says, the scanty inscription are coarsely cut and badly preserved. The following titles, however, are legible. The king's scribe judge. So since we know Nikau Isis, I keep saying the other black man. Since we know that Peppy was not the king's scribe judge, that's not one of his titles, we should say that this Peppy from Mier D number 1 is another individual. Because those ain't his titles down here. Now look at this. Mier D number 4, and it says Peppy out the middle. Now this is gonna start getting some confusion. I'm here to try to clear it up. If I mess up in my clearing it up, help me out in the chat. Peppy out the middle. Believe it or not, this is still one of the Peppies. This is the second Peppy we went over. But it's gonna be, so we got Peppy Kim, right? Then we dealing with Peppy how do you say Henna? Or his name ain't Henna, it's the other word for the middle. It's Pep, what's the other one? Hori Ib. Peppy Harry Ib. Right? That is Peppy the middle. But keep remembering, we about to come across another Peppy dog. And watch how they tried to tell you that these wasn't just brothers. They acted like one was serving the servant of the other. But we know this stuff. So look, he's the middle. You clearly see it say the middle. This is not Peppy Kim. And even when it says whose good name is Henny, it don't say Henny the Black. I just want y'all to trip off this. Because I had to do this and I was like, why ain't he the Black? And then it led me to other conclusions. So watch this. We came over here. Now we just getting different people. Because there's a lot of people represented in these tombs. We down to Mina. I ain't gonna go over the people who ain't significant. But notice we come across another Pepion. I'm not saying this is another person. I'm saying another attestation to Pepion. And I'm gonna read this one. A single chamber for the foremost part quarried away. It says the exterior east wall just on either side of the doorway and the thickness of the north jamb are decorated with figures of Pepion, his family, and attendants. All right? They didn't say he was the patron of the family, but he's making it seem like it's him and his, like he's the husband, father, patriarch. The interior wall seems to have been left unsmooth in the back. Okay, so that still the same Pepion from my recollection, right? And we gonna come to this till we get down to the last one. Now look at this one. We was just doing Pepion the what? The middle. You see, this is why cats don't be wanting to, you can't be arguing some shit you really didn't study hella far because you'll just get boxed all up. So if it's all of them is named Papillon and we got their distinguishers, you know that you talking about this one because you're going to say the eldest. You're going to say Papillon Shesmu or Shemsu. No, not Shem. You're going to say Shesmu, huh? Ain't that your name, Shesmu? The elder? Yeah, you can say Shesmu for elder. SMS, right? So, yeah. So he'd be Peppy. So that's a different one. That's the distinguisher, this ending element, as we see, he's the eldest. So when we come to the black, it's still a distinguisher amongst these group of members who all got Papillon in their name. Watch this. So we got another person, no Papillon, no distinguisher in that regard either. They got Unk Hotep. It's not relevant, so I'm just gonna skip through them. Right? We want to get to. So that was the measure of those in that tune. But he's gonna break this down for you later, where he just basically he's doing the family history and genealogy here, and he breaks down the earliest nomarch of whom we can speak with certainty is Ni-Ankh Pepi the Black. Now let me stop and go back to the stupid ass state-sponsored media. Ni-Ankh Pepi Kim is a servant of the servant of Ni-Ankh Pepi. What? He's a nomarch. You see how they do that? A nomarch is like a boss of the nome. He's like a governor. But they took him, and since he got black in his name, and then they repainted this all hella bright red, and he went from a nomarch to a servant in just one paragraph. They teaching you that bullshit, and we here to dismantle all this shit until I own on this timeline, maybe not this timeline. Yeah, maybe this timeline, if I get white people mad enough and play them like Netanyahu playing them, I could play them like that against Egypt. Like, you know what we need to do? We need to bomb Egypt. Why not? That's all they do, all that. Man, come on, man, play these games. Come on, white people, let's get mad at Egypt. Why not? Give us that shit. See? I'm a negotiator. Y'all need somebody who can talk like this. Look, when you bomb that shit, run down to Egypt, bomb that shit too, get that shit back to Kemet. Oh, y'all don't like me talking like this? I ain't going to, that's why every time y'all ask me for a trip there, I say, hell nah. You gotta get me on my soil. Come to the hood and see. I'm just playing. I'm just totally not playing. But I'm real in the motherfucker though. Right? I'm telling the truth. Like, come on. The U.S. need to start hating Egypt. We don't like them. And when that happens, give it 20 years. All right? You see, because they got to take all that shit. So they started Israel taking shit, in a minute they taking the rest of that shit. But anyway, y'all know I'm telling the truth, but let's get back to the science and not none of the hyperbole, right? And so you clearly see in the book of our black man who did the first work on this, he says the earliest nomarch, what does this chapter say? The princes of the 6th dynasty. The earliest nomarch of whom we can speak with certainty. Now look at this. They keep saying Ni-Ankh Pepi the Black, but they're doing what we would call honorary transposition or graphic transposition, because his name is Pepi first. But since this name is being honored they're saying neon. Neon peppy. So now we see why the knee is in front, even though it is a genitive or adjective, and it should not be in front. It's only in front in the English. Over here, this would say something like, the life belonging to Peppy, the black. Black Peppy, because you got to put the adjective not on the life. This is all graphically transposed. Some could say, no, the adjective don't go on the life, but when you go do the name of Mer in Patah, what was the adjective there? It'd be the love. It's the arrangement of that also lets me think some weird stuff, think some weird things. Now, without going too far and making a statement that I don't want to have to backtrack, let's just read what it says on the screen. It says, Neon Peppy the Black, see page 5 for the description of his chapel. Also called, so what, remember, Mer, they don't got no N in here. So you just said Murray Ra. Murray Ra. But they say Mary Ra. Yeah, I'm sorry. Murray Ra. Yeah, so this is still that first one we was talking about. He's got 2 Kims on both them names. And possesses the good name Sebek Hotep. And then he put another Kim on his good name. That's that first one. Now let's see what he say. His wife, according to the description. See, knowing all these people is how you beat the brakes off one of those little ladies in the museum. Oh, that's Peck her Neferet husband. She gonna shut up right in the museum. Oh, you talking about Peck her Neferet husband? Oh, you should read up on her. You just shut her up. She gonna not want to talk about the subject no more. She didn't even know he was married. But if I read, I don't know, Pet Care Neferet and her good name belonging to Bibi. Bibi. All right, now look. The epithet black is sometimes omitted. For example, on the false door of his own chapel and the inscription in the chapel of his son. So I said, bro, that's Pepe Neonk the middle. But so this is what's going to happen. This knee, they said he was a servant of the other one, but he the no more and the father. This shit, you can't make this up. So the father is the servant of his sons then. You really can't make up how they weaponize information and don't expect us to be able to decode this shit hella easy. But look at what they just said. The epithet black is sometimes omitted. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about this. He just called black an epithet. This is our word Blackman. But he is the specialist on the rock tomb. Let's order some food. He is the specialist on the rock tombs of Mi'er. He did the excavations and he broke that down. He's not the specialist on the naming conventions and whether this is an epithet or not. So in this work, he's saying black is an epithet, but inside of his 5-book work, he can't say what the epithet is. And he leaves the epithet out of the titles section that's in this book. You know, like if you say, oh, this is an epithet, then you do a whole section explaining all of the epithets that you found and you leave this one out. So somebody followed this work. This is German work. I'm going to go to the work of Hermann Ranke, persons and names of the Middle Kingdom. And that work is exhaustive and it's good to look at. And you can see it digitized. I show it often. And in that, he takes this term and says, this ain't no epithet. This is a physical description. Black. So I just told you the scholars who did it in the works they did it in. And that take a long time to find that out because ain't no white person gonna tell you that shit. I did that myself. I had to go see. Right? So the epithet black is sometimes omitted. See, he under the pretense that, oh, whatever it means to him, it's an epithet and it's sometimes omitted, but we should also digest other things he said, that it is sometimes omitted, and gave us the example, which is the false door of his own chapel in the inscription in an inscription in the chapel of his son, Pepi Ankh the Middle. So now let's go slow. Even I'm giving myself more clarity too. Now, all of the other Pepi Ankhs I can tell you from what I studied before. And now it's going to help us get the greatest clarity of all. This means Pepi Ankh the eldest, obviously is a son. He's the eldest son. Now we know why he's called the eldest. And then Pepi Ankh the middle is the middle son. But there about to be two more. You know, I guess they was just proliferating. We're going to have to deal with Pepi Ankh, again, the black, which is going to either possibly be the father, but there's another Pepi Ankh, and we're going to know if this is his son or an uncle. Pepi Ankh the Red. All right, so don't get lost or confused. Don't even worry about the Pepi Ankhs. Just remember the eldest, the middle, the black, and the red. And what we're going to try to research is Pepi Ankh the black a different Pepi Ankh the black than Ni Ankh Pepi the black, who's their father and the Nomar. But none of them are servants, dog. These are princes. The princes of the sixth dynasty. All right? So them calling them servants was just state-sponsored nonsense. So let's go over here. The names Ni Ankh Pepi, we know these the same person. Sobek Hotep must have been born in the reign of Pepi the first. Besides being no marks of Kusay, now you know, again, I should have said that a long time ago. The rock tombs of Mi-Er are by Kusay or whatever. Like, and they were no marks of Kusay. And besides being no marks of Kusay, he was do y'all know what this is? They say it right after that, but I want you to say the Medu Necher since this is my show. He is a well, what you want to say, Reshi? What would y'all say, Reshi or Shema? I want to see what y'all put in the chat. Reshi? Reshi. 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 What y'all put in the chat for that right there? Forget the English, that's what they telling you a lie. Superintendent, how you gonna be the superintendent? Shut up. You're not the superintendent. You bigger than a superintendent. You the boss, you the MER. Ain't nobody read the metadata can help me with that. Damn. Reshi, bruh, or Shema. Yeah, he said Reshi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Shazboom. So he was also the overseer of the South. Let's keep that in mind. He wasn't no damn servant. And the holder of several other important offices, and none of them is black. Black ain't an office. He had 3 sons. See, this is what we've been dealing with. Pepi Ankh. So Ni Ankh Pepi got 3 sons called Pepi Ankh, and they gonna try to tell you they don't even know. They really don't know what they talking about. I'm even learning. I told you that's why I love freshening up on my shit. Because now they force me to know it even better. You dummy, them is 3 sons. You could just beat the brakes. I mean, is that your intention? Well, I intend to beat the brakes off state-sponsored lies when put in my face and they trying to mislead me. I would love to humiliate that person. They're deserving of it. So he had 3 sons called Pepion. A circumstance that is established by the fact that one of them, the owner of D, number 2, has the attribute. See, this is what I was recalling Eric. Damn, why he keep telling the answer? So what is this word in Medu Neter? Earlier when I was trying to recall this word off the top, I said it. It means the middle. So we said Pepi Ankh Shesmu, right? That is the eldest. Who is he, Pepi Ankh? What? Say his name in ancient Egyptian. Good one, good one. That's 100% correct. But is it Hair or Harry? It might be Harry, but you're 100% right. You got to remember that's a third week if we talking about hair for not a preposition. If it's hair for like above or whatever, then it's going to be a third week. So it's going to be Harry Ib, I presume. Harry Ib is the middle. HRY, but Uric answered it correctly. And you did too, Shazmoo. I just see that. So we know who he in the middle. The chapel of the elders of these 3, now we're talking about the eldest of the 3, and we know his name already. His name is the eldest. Pepi Ankh is almost certainly number 1 in Kusiri El Amara. In the first place, the owner of this scantily inscribed chapel is called, what is he called? On the next page. What is he called? Pepi Ankh the Elder. So now look at this. In the same position for this name, Pepi Ankh, where the Kim would be on the other ones, we just see a man that should be read as the elder. And secondly, through his own parentage, though his own parentage is not given, his eldest son is called Sebek-hotep. Wait a minute. So Pepi Ankh the eldest is also called Sebek-hotep. Because he's called, that's one of his names too. After his parentage grandfather, okay. This Pepi Ankh has the title of, who wants to, now they didn't tell you what his title is, so now cats can't cheat. Who know the title? If you're a teacher, don't answer it. I know you know. But some of us are learners together. Who calling me from Tennessee? Hold on, man. I thought they said smash. I don't know. He is the foremost of the he's in the front of what? Oh, he's the foremost of the dignitaries, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody can fix that. But he's like the foremost of the dignitaries. Now I'm starting to get some pains from that accident from yesterday, man, for real. I'm like, hold up, I told them I'm gonna go to the hospital to get my money. I had a horrible accident yesterday, y'all. I mean, I'm lucky to be alive. Shit, Ari, yeah, but you gotta say that right. You ain't saying it right. I'm going through some pain right now from the accident. Damn. They be saying it's gonna kick in the next day. I might have to, nope, I'm cool. I might go rest up, man. It's time to go to the doctor, dog. My back and stuff. Dude, do y'all know how bad a wreck I was in, dog? Let me show you some pictures. This dude came, hit me at about, oh, yeah, I'm feeling it. It's in my back. This dude came, let me show you. This dude came, hit me so hard. Oh, yeah, I'm going to the doctor. He out of pocket. My back just started hurting out the hell of the blue. They really be right. They be like, you just gonna sit there and feel it the next day? Golly, I just felt that. I haven't felt nothing the whole time. I thought I was cool. And then I just started feeling some pain. Like, what the fuck is that? Now I'm feeling that shit. Let me show you how bad this was. It was this bad, dog, that my watch, I don't even understand it because I thought I was cool, but that shockwave that ran through my body catching up with me right now. Dude. Oh my gosh, it's hella hurting right now. But hold up. This how bad it was. That my watch broke off my arm from the accident. I was like, how can my watch? The shockwave was so hard that it broke my watch off my arm. I'm going to show y'all some of these pictures. This is yesterday, y'all. I'm sitting there trying to teach. Dude, this dude rear-ended me so hard. Oh, man. I'm about to get... He tripping. Look at this. Just tore my truck to shreds, bro. You don't even want to see. Look at his car. Idiot. You can see my wife in the passenger seat, yo. Come on, dog. This is real life. Like, you feel me? I'm like, what the fuck? Then I start sitting here right here and was like, where am I? My back. I got quiet. Like, what the hell going on with my back? I'm about to go to the doctor. I'm gonna say, watch my stream. They gonna be able to see exactly when that shit kicked in. Look how, you don't think it was bad, bro? This is my truck, bro. Over, bro. Over. Oh my God. Now I see why my back hurt. I don't know why I thought I could just sit here all day in this chair and shit. Maybe if I move around, I don't need to go to the doctor. I'm going to the doctor anyway. Look how bad this was, bro. It looked like the Matrix in my car when I seen that shit. Now it hurt. All right, so it hurt on the right side of my back. I'm about to start talking about this shit. I'm just saying though. If y'all tell the doctor, bro, this fool in the SRT, he was going full speed. He didn't even see me. Blood, look how through he. I'm gonna turn this to this. He's so through. Look at this. You wouldn't even believe I was sitting here all this time trying to talk about happy to black and shit. Nah, I just stopped hurting. I can keep going. Plus, I smoked my joint. That shit helped. You see? I might need to just hit the joint again. I'm still gonna go because I ain't taking that shit they about to give you. Y'all think I'm supposed to take some narcotic opioids? That's all they gonna give me. I'm gonna go to the doctor so they put it on the record. Do y'all see how bad he wrecked, bro? I'm gonna hit the joint though. Dude, he didn't, everybody who watching this can say, nah, he didn't hit the brakes. He never once hit the brakes, bruh. And want to know what happened? Let me tell you how the ancestors do. Bruh, that happened yesterday, bruh. I'm fresh out of that. I wasn't even feeling it until I started feeling this pain. Like, what the fuck is that? I had to get quiet, and then I said, oh, I was in an accident yesterday. I forgot. I'm going to the doctor. But I'm just going to hit this joint, though. I hope y'all don't mind. God damn. Take that pain away real fast. Hold up. Oh, man. All right, I'm back. See, I just hit the joint. See, I'm instantly back. That's crazy. I'm not instantly back. But it just took my mind off it. You feel me? Yeah, he did not use the brakes. I didn't even hear a skidding up, dude. It was just like, it was just going. So this is what happened. It was one of them slowdown moments on the freeway when people do the rear ending. And the way that it approached, I was like, okay, look in your rear view, because this is one of them times you need to check. It might be a dummy behind you, bruh. Man, I looked up, dog. I looked in the motherfucking rear view. It was like a video game. Bruh, I looked in the rear view and said, oh shit, babe. I reached over to my wife to try to help her, and I yanked the steering wheel to the left, and all we heard was, dude, I seen it. So I was looking in the rear view. That mug didn't even skid up on me. He just came full speed. Bow! And we felt that, and now we in the shockwave. Being in the shockwave is crazy. I'm inside the shockwave, bro. We like this. Time slowed down inside the shockwave. It's something we got to study in science. But I think it's for your perceptions to try to be able to help you do something. But when you in that shockwave, it should be like this, the Matrix. And I seen my airbags going on. First of all, it was 2 accidents. But yeah, he took my truck out of commission. That truck never gave me a problem. 10 years, bro. So the first accident is when he hit me and gave us all the momentum. That's when I just figured out because I just did that motion. That's when my back hurt. Because it pushed us like this. But I got one arm over trying to hold my wife because I'm thinking she about to hit some shit. She don't see this coming. I see it in the rear view. All I could say was, babe. I couldn't even say, babe, brace yourself. I said, babe. And it went boom. Now we in the car doing the Matrix, but we hadn't hit the car in front of us yet. He caused a 4-car accident, bro. I hit that car in the front. Boom! That was the real explosion. Oh, my ear just started ringing. Oh, this dude done told me out of commission. So when we hit that car in front of us, dude, we hit it so hard. Over. But you know, you slowing down, you at about 5 miles an hour. And then you see the car coming behind you, gotta come up off the brake to yank over. So that means my wheels was in the free roll when it took that back rear momentum, bruh. And this is how hard he hit me from the back. Y'all can see why it's on the passenger side, because I yanked over trying to clear the car in front of me, hoping that I won't hit nothing when he hit me. Really, you be trying to get out the way, hoping that you don't hope they gonna hit the car in front of you. You hoping that you give them more space to stop. Man, it's over. So I feel better after I hit the joint. I don't feel no pain no more. But I'm gonna go to the doctor later though. You feel me? You tried to take me out the game. I didn't even look at it like that. I was proud of myself. I was proud of myself because after I thought about it, I was like, okay, I didn't panic. I handled it kind of cool. I didn't. So this is why we gotta go take, my new thing is CPR and EMT classes. Because I don't like situations where knowledge is all I don't got. Got everything else. I'm standing there. My wife was hurt. She was in shock. She cool though. Don't worry about it. But look, she in shock and I'm able-bodied and I'm standing over my wife, don't know what to do. Nigga moment. That's what I call it. I'm just standing there like, you don't like my language, I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. But you know what? It's one of the moments where knowledge is the only thing you're missing. And so I want to take some first responder classes and all of that. Now, one of the cars that I had to hit the car, he pushed me into the car. And they had to hit the car. They got pushed into a car. It was a doctor. Shout out to my Chinese lady doctor, who ran up on me first accusative. But my wife is not doing good. I mean, she's doing good, but at that moment, we didn't know what it was. We fresh up off the airbags. And we tell her, don't move and shit. So the lady come walking from the front car after seeing all this mayhem. And the first thing she said to me is, did you just hit us from the back or did somebody hit you too? But we standing in front of all the carnage, dog. And I couldn't even stay I turned into smash a little bit. I'm like, what you gonna fucking see? Like, how you we on the scene. It's 1 second after this happened. I'm trying to tend to my wife, and you trying to act like, yo, did you just hit me or did somebody else hit you? If somebody else hits me, you could just peek to the back of my truck, and you will know the answer to that question. But I didn't even go that far. I just was like, why don't you just take a look? Just take a look. That's what I said. And she was like, oh, then she realized me and her was in the same exact situation. Some dummy hit both of us and made us have Then I was like, my wife ain't doing cool. She, and then she hopped in the car. I'm a doctor. Cool, get your doctor ass in there. She hopped in there quick. Fast. She get love shout out on YouTube. And her and my wife was talking about the questions they asked. Can you move this? Can you move that? If you can move these things, you cool. You can get up. You ain't that hurt if you can move these things. No matter how much your muscles hurt, you can get up. Woo! Anyway, my pain went away because I hit that joint. I'm gonna go to the doctor later. We could go back to the teacher. Unless it come back. Let me see. So it says this Pampiot has his title. So he was the somebody put it up. The Uri Pot. I think that's how we gonna say that. The Uri Pot. Hot. The Uri Pot. Let me show you in the dictionary. I might have to go to the TLA. The Uri Pot is some type of a royal position, and he's in the front of them. He's like the foremost. He's the hot Uri Pot. So this Pepillon in his titles, Uri Pot hot. So he must have succeeded his father as the nomarch of Kusai. That's just the word for nomarch. It says, but the unfinished state of the capital suggests that he did not long survive him. His wife's name was, what you gonna say? Zesh. Oh, yeah, they say Seshes. I said Zesh. So the successor of Pepillon the eldest was doubtless his second brother. Let me slow down. The successor of Pepillon the eldest, yeah, we got that right, was his brother Pepillon the middle. also called Nefer-Ka, his good name being Henny. But they don't say Henny the Black. It's going to explain it. Henny. His wife's name was Het-Yah, the house of the moon, and her good name being Hetty. Their eldest son, so Pepi the Middle's eldest son was the other Pepi the Black. See? Oh my God, we got them boxed up, man. They be doing so much lying. So now he's saying he's a servant of his grandson. He would either they would be saying the grandson was a servant of the grandfather, or the grandfather was the servant of the grandson. Because we didn't found out the other Aunt Pepi the Black that occurs, but he's the black dog. Damn, they got so many blacks. That's why I said meet the black family, dog. But let's just keep reading. Their eldest son, who is there, Pepi the Middle, and his Het-Yah had a son that they named Aunt Pepi the Black. So the oldest, their grandfather, so they named him after his grandfather, basically. Also called Happy the Black, named just like his first cousin, Sebek Hotep, after his parental grandfather. Yep, okay, cool. They named him after the grandfather. Perhaps he is the owner of A. Number 4, Pepi Ankh the Middle was the more distinguished person. But look, we still haven't got to these other Pepi Ankhs. Now let's look. The third Pepi Ankh also became a nomad. All right, watch how we get to some more Pepi Ankhs. You're going to be like, this shit don't stop. All right, so if y'all want to have fun and read the Meta Nature right here, I'm going to read it in English, because it's better when you can read it in English. His son, his beloved, I'm supposed to read it in English. So, that's hard to do. I'm going to say Hesse. No, see, that's what I'm saying. What is that word in English? His anointed one? So it's his son, his beloved, what do y'all got for this word? His Hesse? His Hebsi? Oh, so, all right, I know now, I could tell you, but I'm just trying to learn. So, this word is going to have, this word, the other form of this word will have something to do with cooling, dog, liquid, dog. So what is his, I can just look, but I'm going to finish reading it. His something, you said everything? Nah, this is his everything? I don't think so. But he's the seal bearer for the king. He is the sole companion of the king. He is the overseer of the gods, or the good god. The hymn priest. He's the overseer of the hymn priest. Pepi Ankh. Now notice the black is at the end in the descriptive category. These are his titles. Either way, Pepi Ankh Renef is his name. Pepi Ankh is his name. Nefer, oh no, his good name. Ren Nefer. His good name. That what happened to the Meta Nature? What happened to the Meta Nature? My back really stopped hurting when I hit the joint. See, y'all be mad. It's better than that Vicodins and shit they're gonna try to give me. Let me see. Where the Meta Nature go? Oh, here it go. So, this is his good name. Henny Henny the Black. Come on, man, they can't even lie to you. Oh, this is a different one. So this is Hennet the Black. Look over here. No, they say Henny just like me. H-N-I. His good name, Henny the Black. But let's keep reading, because watch how this keeps going. His son, oh, I just read this, Henny the Black. Now, in his own chapel, in the dish, so that servant has a chapel. These liars, they tell you that black dignitaries, princes, and what have you are servants. And you can catch them bold-faced lying right on my YouTube page. Now here go the shit. In his own chapel, mind you, your chapel is not your tomb. This book is the rock tombs of Mier. But right now they're in his chapel. In his own chapel, in addition to those already mentioned, he is also the possessor of the following names. Let's go back up and see who is the possessor of these names again. You gotta remember, we're on the grandson. See, you gotta remember, these tombs be there for hundreds of years. And the grandson probably died 60 years later. So I'm going back because you gotta remember that Pepi Ankh the Middle and his wife had a son named Pepi Ankh. Where is it at? They had a son named Neankh Pepi the Black, also called Happy Black, like his grandfather. Perhaps the owner of this tomb, Pepi Ankh the Middle, was a more distinguished person than either his father or brothers, for in addition to being a nomarch, he was treated as a Tati, or a Chati, or a Vizier. It says, and also attained to the highest position open to an Egyptian subject. The third Pepi Ankh also became a nomarch, so that's the grandson, Pepi Ankh. In due course, and evacuated himself, it says, and excavated for himself a fine chapel. So we're talking about the grandson when we on this page and talking about the chapel. Now we can see here the grandson. This is them they're talking about, and they say he's Henny the Black. In his own chapel, in addition to those already mentioned, he is also the possessor of the following name. So the grandson is Hennet the Black. Now we see why we see a change on Henny the Black. He don't want to just be Henny the Black. And I also wonder why he had this, what appeared to be a feminine name. And now I can understand that's not a feminine ending, it's an abstract ending. Hennet the Black is the grandson, but why they keep putting the Black? You think it's being used like a last name. Well, this grandson is going to have a brother, but to keep going. And when we get down to this brother, he finally going to be called the Red. And at that point, we're going to be able to see how, oh, okay, well, how come he the Red? And then we get some understanding of what the Black means. But Hennet the Black, right? Hennet the Black are simply plain Henny. Henny ain't happy, nor is, now I got a greater understanding, who is happy? If I'm correct, Happy is the first progenitor of all of this. Neankh Pepi Kim. And his good name is Sobek Hotep and Happy the Black. But when we come down to his grandson, he calls himself Hennet the Black, Hennet the Black, Hennet the Black, or simply plain Henny, or Hennet. His wife is Set Int Pepi. So we clearly know this ain't the other one. The inscription in the chapel makes no mention of any son. This Pepi Ankh is the last 6th dynasty nomarch of whom we have any certain record. He's the last nomarch. And so it's of his records, I think we're going to find his brother, Pepi the Red. Despite the long list of his ancestors in the chapel of Unkhotep, son of Unkhotep, it is impossible to fill in the breaks in the genealogy of these princes between the 6th and the 7th dynasties. Because by the lack of inscribed chapels belonging to that period, however, like the neighboring lords of the Hair-Nom, the nomarchs of Kusay during the Middle Kingdom may also have been lineage descendants from the Old Kingdom predecessors. The statues of Happy the Black, owner of Fort Up, is very doubtful. The status, excuse me, not statue. The status of Happy the Black is very doubtful. He's not Henny the Black, not Henninette the Black. This is Happy the Black. All putting Kim, all calling themselves Kim, which translates to the black in our language. It says, the meager inscription in his tombs are badly state of preservation. From what I have at the present been able to decipher, we learned that he was. So let's do it. Read the book. Don't let the man tell you what he was. What was he? Yeah, we had just got to, right when you said it. This is Happy right here, the black. We just got to it right when you said it. And they say he is the Emir, what? He's the overseer of the South. He is the seal bearer for the king. He's the overseer of the South. He's the seal bearer for the king. He is the sole companion. And what is he at last? This one is harder. He's the Heb. I don't know what this Heb is. It probably continues to another word. Heb what? Heb Emir. He's the overseer of the priest. Oh, that Heb was the something. Yeah, say everything I just said right here. In view of the title Superintendent of the South, which appears to have been held only by nomarchs, he also probably attained that rank. It has been suggested in P10 that this Happy the Black is identical. It has been suggested, but they don't know if it's true, that this Happy the Black is identical with the similar name, eldest son of Pepi Ankh the Middle. So they're saying it has been suggested that this Happy the Black, we finally got the Happy the Black. And they saying he's identical with the similarly named eldest son of Pepi Ankh the Middle, who bore some of the above mentioned title. If both of the identifications are the supposition that he was the nomarch are correct, Happy must have succeeded his uncle, the youngest Pepi Ankh. So this is the Black family, though, by what we call surname. These are not surnames, but how we attribute them. I made an analogy and called them the Blacks, because they all keep putting black as a descriptor on the font at the end of their name. And there's only one of them who's going to use a different color that's going to let us know they're really talking about, or it's going to give us a hint that they may truly be talking about something that we can observe like color. Well, let's get to him, who so far we can learn from the inscription in the temple had no son. It is likely that this Happy the Black is the same person as Sebek Hotep, also named Happy the Black, right? The father of all three Pepi Ankhs. So how could, that don't make no sense. How can we go all the way down the lineage to the grandson, see that the grandson start talking about another Pepi, and you think that go all the way back to his grandfather? But this was in the 1950s when he did this work, so he was doing a good job. It is indeed most improbable that one man would have excavated for himself two large chapels side by side. I mean, No, yeah, you probably wouldn't do that. It'd take a lot of work. The Happy in question must be either a predecessor of Sebek Hotep or a successor of the youngest Pepion. The large size of the unfinished condition of the tomb chapel is in favor of the latter view, excavated at the end of the long period of time of Pepi II in the grand manner of the period. It was never decorated owning any anarchy into which the country lapsed. Or it was never decorated owing to the anarchy into which the country lapsed after the aged sovereign died. Sovereign's death. The princes of the, oh shit, they went all the way to the 12th dynasty? Oh wait, how did you skip up to the 12th dynasty? Is that where we're gonna get this? Hold on, tell me I'm tripping. This say the 12th dynasty. So we was just talking about the princes of the 6th dynasty. Now, when reading this book before, I'm sorry, maybe this is the whole catch right here. Because now here it is. Yeah, it is. Look at the footnote. I told you. Hold on. I must have missed something. Because how could he have that footnote talking about it? And he ain't even mentioned Happy the Red yet. I've been looking for this footnote for so long, and I had to reread the whole book because I thought it was in book 4 where he said this footnote. Dude, now watch this footnote. This footnote about to beat the brakes off anybody who say this ain't about how they look. Man, I've been looking for this so long. Watch this. I'm going to go to the footnote, and it's going to be damning for anybody who's trying to say something else. But I first got to remember to go back and probe. Damn, I forgot that this book talk about people from the 12th dynasty. That's big. And if one of that other Pepion Kims is from the 12th dynasty, then that answers a big, huge question. Well, let's read this footnote. Now watch this. On the west wall of his tomb chapel, Pepi Ankh the Middle is accompanied by 2 sons, Happy the Black and Happy the Red. Now, got him. I effing got him. Not only do I got him, so Pepi Ankh the Middle, who is the second son of Ni. I love getting this worked out in my head. I can explain this shit at dinner tonight. Pepi Ankh. See, Ni Ankh Pepi Kim was the nomarch. I'm going to see how good I'm doing at coming off the top with it real quick. Let's go live. You got to test yourself real quick. All right, Ni Ankh Pepi Kim of the 6th dynasty was the progenitor of the family of the Blacks. See, I can put it in my own words. He wore black as his title, not because he was a servant. He was actually a nomarch. And all of his sons were princes. You see, he had 3 sons. Now, if you can't do this after my teaching, what I just taught, I knew this shit a little bit prior, so maybe give yourself, read the book for real, but I'm just reiterating what I've been teaching today. He had 3 sons. Who were they? Y'all know, Pepi the eldest. I shouldn't have said Pepi the eldest. Was it Ni Ankh Pepi the eldest? Well, his son is Ni Ankh Pepi the eldest. Ni Ankh. Oh no, it was Pepi Ankh, not Ni Ankh. It's Pepi Ankh the eldest. Pepi Ankh Harry Ib. So it's Pepi Ankh Shesmu. Pepi Ankh Harry Ib, the middle. And who was his youngest son called? Pepi Ankh the Black. Those are his 3 sons. Now, that Neon Peppy Kim, you talk about 3 sons, also had sons. But of those 3 sons, we want to talk about Pepiank Huri Ib, which is Pepiank the middle. I'm just simply testing myself to see if I absorb my own teachings and if I could bust them off the top of the head. Now, Pepiank the middle's 2 sons were Happy the Black and Happy the Red. Now, when we come to how Pepiank the Hairy Ib, the middle, named his 2 sons, it reveals everything about his lineage. He's the only one to distinguish between his 2 sons by color and called one of them Red, which substantiates the former use of the one Black was always meant to say black. He's in the same lineage. He didn't mess up what his grandfather then was doing. You see, so let me show you big, so you can see the white man say it, so you can give it some credence. Because when I say it, you really ain't gonna really feel this. So now look, on the west wall of his tomb chapel, Pepiank the middle is accompanied by 2 sons, Happy the Black and Happy the Red. We're also going to go see the picture of this, and I put it in one of my presentations some 5 years ago, but we're going to keep going. Ujahu tried to tell y'all that this was a job. I ain't still on his head. I wish him well, but I'm just saying, y'all couldn't see through the clouds. Some people couldn't see through the trees back then. Because I couldn't find this either. I didn't ever show y'all this. Now watch what he says this. Read this. The following inscription accompanies the former. His son, his eldest son, his beloved, or they say who he loves, his soul companion, his confidential friend, they call it. They say soul companion, confidential friend, the same thing. Superintendent of the priest, Happy the Black. See, when they say the name, they're no longer giving out titles. All of the titles are said before the name. But that's not what you need. That's just something I wanted you to notice. Let's continue. His father's name is not preceded by the titles Uripat Hat. So we do not know if he was a nomarch or not. But hold on, because I didn't finish reading the foot. He's going to say more in the footnote about these 2. Here it is. There's another son called, oh, hold on, what just happened? I got to see how this keep happening, because I could have swore I just read this to y'all. So he says this twice? Yep, he does say it twice, because this isn't what was above. Oh man, this is wonderful. Research is tight. So watch this. I'm going to go back. He's going to say that once, but then he got to be saying it again, because how did I find it again? See, here's the first time. All right, this isn't the first. The epithet black is sometimes omitted. That's when he's talking about black being omitted. Let's go to the next page. Now come over here. Look. There's also another song called Neon Peppy the Red, and the good, oh, I must have just didn't finish reading it. Well, let me finish reading it. The good name of Happy the Red. Now he's speaking on that. The modern Egyptians, I want to make this big. Watch this. So you cannot say it ain't about the way they look. The modern Egyptians employ similar attributes. I thought they wasn't attributes. I thought they were epithets. See, you got to stay within your own framework, Howard. But I got him by the neck. Look, the modern Egyptians employ similar attributes to distinguish 2 relatives or companions of the same name. Man, I told y'all this shit a long ass time ago. And they was lying to y'all face. So he's saying, man, modern Egyptians still do that shit. Thus, of two Muhammads, one may be known as El Abyad, the white, and the other as El Azyar, the dark. It says in the biographical inscription of Pepeyang the Middle, we are informed that he obtained the age of 100. So it was probably on being appointed vizier, his younger brother became nomarch. Now, between the vizier and the nomarch, there is no servant relationship. So I've been through that a long ass time ago. But they told you here, one would be called the white and one would be called the dark. Now let me ask you this. If there was both Muhammads and one was called the white and one was called the dark, you think the one called the white was darker than the one called the dark? So therefore, even this author, by default, admits that this black and the red is about the way they look. Man, I need to screenshot this because I was looking for this on like 30 shows we did, right? Like we did 40 shows when I was looking for this. All I had to do was stop and actually read the book. Feel me? Now, we got that for when they try to say that. Yeah, they're going to say, oh, one of them could have had white hair. Right? But no, in this book, he be talking about how they look like Hamites and everything. But his word for Hamite is just another word for what we know. But yeah, the priest is a good name, Henny the Black, and his own. Man, they tell you all about it. Now it's time to go look at some of these pictures they showed us was here. Since I finally found that. Oh yeah, he does say it twice. So this, on the left page, is when he says the stuff about the Arabs. And on this page, he says the other stuff, right? So, I mean, I learned a lot from that about what, you see the difference between, let's go look at what that lady said again. He was a servant. Because he got the black in his name. So don't let none of them, that's just state-sponsored Egyptological bullshit. It's like some of them dudes should feel like disgusted to be that type of person. What if you had to be the type of person to like have to lie and shit like this in order to, I'm about to order some food. So if y'all appreciate the show, go on and hit the Cash App. Buy me a soda or a Snicker. You don't want a Snicker, but you can contribute. And I'm gonna order the food right now. So thank you. I appreciate y'all. It's just to show that you appreciate the the teachings and keep the show popping. But you also can contribute in any regard to this show. It ain't just that. It's time to order some food, and I don't want to go driving. I'm traumatized from yesterday. The only thing I'm gonna drive to is the hospital. But I mean, I know how to do my order. I go to the hospital on little shit, bro. I'm not one of them people. I might have some shit, my toe. I got health care. I'm going to the hospital. Fuck that. Now, when I order food my wife don't really like, it's kind of disrespectful. But I want this food hella bad. It's this Mexican fish. I might just order it, bro. I'm ordering it. I'm gonna just get her something that she might like. Hold up. Order this food real quick. I ain't asking what you want, because then that's when you get to... Motherfuckers know what they don't want more than what they want. You just man up and just say, here goes some food. Then they don't care. They just eat the shit. You motherfucker gonna ask what you want. I do that often, but today it's not fun. You're gonna take control. I'm just gonna buy you something that look hella good. These fajitas. You gonna love them. Let me see we want some corn tortillas. Nah, flour. Fajitas de pollo, that's chicken. De asada. We gonna go de asada. Fajitas mixed. Oh, we want the trio, shrimp, chicken. Oh, that's gonna go. With a nice Jarritos, pineapple. We gonna booty bip this. Hold up, y'all. Y'all still ain't cash out. Help me out. I ain't gonna be able to get it. Let me see Jarritos. All right, that's only, look, all that food. Let me see how much that costs. I got the whole fish. All right. I got the Jarritos. And I got my wife plate. We need 2 Jarritos. Dang, bro. This costs hella money. Y'all didn't even kick in. Take that off. It's cool. I'm going to go back to teaching. We have recess real quick. This about to be this. Expressed directly to me, man. How much that cost? Damn. Should be $70. You just try to eat. Shit, $70. Let me see. I'm eating that though. Placing my order. All right, cool. We could keep cooking because that cooking now, the food on this way, we can keep going. Let's get back to the teachings. Bad part is we do so much more research than the detractors than we find. I know what they should be. For real. You're right. Like, I mean, you know, it is the truth. But if they did this research, then they probably wouldn't even be. We figured out. I learned so much about this genealogy today. I read it a long time ago. But he's saying some dumb stuff in this book right now. But I guess now he said the Nile God. And I'm not in objection to the Nile God. We know there's no God of the black suit. That shit is fake. And if everything that was important to them, they made a nature of it, then you know that white people made that up when they say Kemet is called Kemet because of the black suit. Anything that they would name their nation over would be governed by a deity. Well, right? I'm saying, if they named the whole nation after that, and it was that important, dude, they got gods and all kind of stuff. And you don't want to call them gods because you want to act a certain way. Call them whatever you want to call them. They got hella. Call them elements. So here go a breakdown of the pedigree of the princes of Kusai in the 12th dynasty. Now notice when we dealing with Henny in the middle, and then we come down, we looking for the 2 sons. Let me see what we find. I don't know if he gonna give us all of that. Okay, wait till that food get here. Nah, man, I gotta go get them to look at my back. I'm gonna go at night though. I don't want to be in a hospital and it's all crowded and shit. And I'm gonna think about what new truck I'm getting. All they gonna do is cut me a check, so I might as well just go and get my new truck right now anyway, huh? Now that I think about it. Amongst the little statuettes was a second portrait of Ni Ankh Pepe the Black. Man, we be having to read all the footnotes, dude. They be trying to lie. Where that picture at? See, this lady just showed us the statue. Man, look. This the same. I'm reading exactly. Dude, this is exactly what she's talking about. Look, called on a pedestal. Neon Peppy the Black by Brochures. Among the little statuettes, that's that little statuette in the Cairo Museum, was a second portrait of Neon Peppy the Black. And we could go see that in the source right here. It says, Brochure publishes photographs of these two portraits of Sebek Hotep. We know that's still him. He just called him by another name. There are also photographs of several of the statues. Let me see if somebody cash at me, man. I ain't like that, but damn, y'all motherfuckers is tripping. Where the love at? Ain't no love, I'm a Umar up. I'm a Umar up. All right, let me see. I could be reading it out loud. I'm kind of cool on reading. Year 1902 in the year attended among chapels by a cop who had found him while searching in the salt. In the year 1902, in this year, the attention of Muhammad Effendi Shaban, the sub-inspector at Menina, was drawn to the tomb chapels of Kuenuk and Pepian, the eldest at Qusayr el Amari, by a Copt who had found them searching for salt. All right. Do they have a picture of the statuette? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I think they're going to show a picture of the statuette in his book. The first thing he said to look for was P10. So I'm going to minimalize the book so we can zoom through it quicker. See if I can get the P10. But just so you can see that I'm not lying, I told you he listed all of the titles and everything in the book. And in his own book, ain't one of them. Black ain't a title. Right? All of the titles listed. Embalmer, lector priest, the sim priest, the friends, the superintendent in the inner parts of the apartment, all that stuff. But he didn't put Kim under none of them. Which is crap. I mean, because he know that ain't no title. But let's keep going and find what we said we was going to go look for. It's called P10, I think. I think I'm supposed to make this smaller again. But yeah, my wife is in the bed. She didn't, she's not like injured like I shouldn't be streaming. But she felt more pain than me. You know what I'm saying? She went to the hospital last night. Check it now. Oh, check it now? Oh, okay. Let me see. Somebody show me some love. Show the brother some listener. Some listeners. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You was a boss. Shout out to Layers. Appreciate you for the contribution and just showing some love on general principle. And I keep doing what I'm doing, man. Thank you. And anybody else who, buy me some coffee, dessert, whatever, I appreciate y'all. Now, let's see what he's talking about here. Well, I'm supposed to be making it smaller because we're not reading anymore. We're looking for where he shows the pictures and stuff. He said plate. It was plate. Oh, here go the one. I remember this from when I previously read the book. This one, he going to tell you they look like black people. Like, there's nothing you can say about this, bruh. The South Wall. He gonna say Hamites, but watch this. The scenes on the South Wall are concerned almost entirely with the nomarch's cattle. The tending, inspecting, and butchering of them. And finally, the offering to him their flesh. Well, I don't want to read it all, so I'm going to see if I can find where he talking about they look like black people. He's not going to say black people. He's going to say Hamites. Because he's in the 1950s. And they used to try to steal North African black people by calling them dark-skinned white people. Here we go. By calling them dark-skinned white people. The rest of Register 2 is occupied with droves of cattle which are being driven into the nomarchs present. They are headed by one of the quote-unquote Beja herdsmen. And then we're going to look at footnote number 3. Oh, gosh. Hold on. We're going to, it says, who's leaning upon a wavy staff, leads along a young Iwa bull. And this is on these plates right here, 25 and 20 and 31. Now it says the face of this herdsman is well preserved. See figure 8, and displays the long, almost straight nose as he's trying to give it. The scanty mustache and whiskers, and the tough beard of the typical Hamite. Because you got to remember when they seen black people with that phenotype, they tried to say they was what? Dark-skinned white people. So that's what he's trying to say here. He's trying to say the straight nose is letting you know that they kind of like Hamitic black people. But Hamitic is just a way to say white black people. You don't get that? They didn't want the Bible to be talking about Ham to be some black people. So they said, look, the typical Hamite, also the proto-Egyptian head from Heracleopolis, and the skull shown and discussed by Elliot Smith in the Ancient Egyptians. Now look, he has the same mass of fuzzy-wuzzy hair. Bruh. Dude, they talking about an afro, man. This would be hella funny how they don't want to say terms. They calling it fuzzy-wuzzy hair. Because fuzzy-wuzzy hair is a little bit less kinky than the typical afro. That's just like one of my partners, my mixed partners. Like, you know, with less sub-Saharan, you know what I got. Less this strong gene. They got a different one. So the hair don't want to go into the curls. It want to uncurl. It's trying to be straight, right? And then it form a different type of afro. It's still strong enough to stand up. When you talk about hair strength. How your hair constantly stand up against the pressure of gravity all day. But everybody else shit fall down. That's hair strength. All that is some strength. Everybody else should fall down. Peace to Sot 12. Europeans have features that look more like the horn. Thank you. And so, thank you, Sot 12, for saying that. It clearly says fuzzy-wuzzy hair. But if you Google fuzzy-wuzzy, they're going to show you a people called the Beja people. That instead of saying they had afros, they didn't want to do that because they're supposed to be Hamitic. They're supposed to be dark-skinned white people. I'm not making this up. This is how lame they scholarship is. I'm hitting a not even TV presentable doobie right now. Don't even trip. We call it taking it to the killers back in the day. But enough of that nonsensical culture. Now, because it's not healthy. But now, hair for his brother on the opposing wall, and it's almost a massacre. What?
Emaciated? Emaciated? I don't know. His neck being long and scraggly, and the skin tightly drawn over the chest and shoulder bone. He talking about this picture we was just looking at. Let me show you. Well, let him finish describing him. Register is painted in yellow, suggests that it is made of a yellow plated straw, not him or his skin. Let's see if they talk more about this dude. No, they didn't. They keep saying they looking Beja. Why they want to keep saying they look Beja? The Beja is the Magi contingency. And if they got pictures of trading in Kusai, and they trading with these people, what make you think? I don't get it. Oh, they're talking about some fake metal matter. I don't like these English words. We come to the books for this. Not necessarily the indexes, but after the indexes, we're going to get to the plates. Now on plate number 10, I'm glad I ordered the food, and shout out for the contributions. Y'all be hot for that. On the plates right here. Now this is where you do the knowledge. And now we got some secondary sources as to some understanding of the lineage of these people. We can see them in action as they intended to leave it for us to see. Now, already we can see this appears to be the bogus boss right here. But what this really is, let me tell you. We all know what this is? It's a statue. It probably was all black too. Because we very seldomly find statues like this one, like this, in this position, that ain't all black. But it is a statue of the Nomarch, the biggest boss of them all. And he is who? If everything is right, when his name is revealed, right, we should see that he is the main one we've been talking about. He should be. Let me look right here for his name. There you go. Wait. They're still talking about titles. It appears all over the place, but what they were doing here was making a statue for him. So it's parts of this process when they are mixing. Man, it looked like the statue made out of cement, but that's going to cause me to change the subject. Because there's a part in here when they are mixing a chemical, and a question arises, what are they mixing? So who wants to read some of the Metal Nature? This is no training wheels here, and a lot of people about to get hella scared because they're some suckers. But I ain't tripping. There ain't really no suckers like that. You get intimidated by the text. I'll be that type of sucker sometimes too. When I first bought my ancient Egyptian dictionary, it was 1996 or 7. But it intimidated me so much that I didn't start using it till like 2009. From 1997 to 2009, I couldn't find no time in my life to absorb none of that, and it was intimidating. Then one day I said, man, I got an Egyptian dictionary right there. And I started looking in Budge, bro, because I had bought Budge just to pick an Egyptian name. All right, we can read this. So this just simply say, snaring or entrapping fish. Catching fish, shooting, he's shooting them though. So I said snaring and entrapping. I'm going to qualify everything I say with a dictionary so people can just know we fucks with it like that. Let me see.
Dictionary, right? So I said snaring and entrapping. Let me show you how. First of all, how do I even know to read from this direction? All of the figures are aiming at the beginning of the text. And really they be aiming at what they talking about and what they represent. They represent, you remember when you read a comic book? They put these in these little word bubbles. You know, like a text bubble circle. And it'd be over the character's head. Well, you notice how this one is by his head? But normally you're going to look into your text. This text is going away from him. So I would already assume it's about what's going on over here. Because the text be looking at what it's about a lot of the time. But in this case, here go two fish right here. So this is his text bubble, right? And the text, if you notice, is just observing the whole process. But just like I said, snaring or entrapping fish, I'm not just looking at the pictures and doing some pseudo shit. This first word, it starts with the S. Then you see a T. So I already know that means the root to this word is to shoot. Now, let me qualify that. This is why we call Taseti the land of the shooters. But this isn't the word Taseti. I just know ancient Egyptian etymology because we've been dealing with words a lot. And some can say that's folk etymology, that the word to shoot is not the same Seti word. I will teach them that they're incorrect. This actually is going back to root, but this is so you could just say this means shooting. Shooting fish. Now, if I go to here to the dictionary, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do. See, all the vowels ain't here. You see a S, but this S, just say you see an S, a T, and a T, right? So I'm going to come here and I'm going to put an S, a T, and a T to see what definitions we have for that transliteration. And I'm going to use my finding tools for the S, a T. Did I say STT? Golly. STT. Now, I'm going to show you the first thing you already see is at the first STT word, you see an arrow going through. You probably don't know this is the hide of a fox or something. Like, you know how we keep raccoon tails and shit? This is that. As if you skinned the rear portions of a fox or whatever, and you got an arrow still going through it. It represents being a shooter. So all this sideways bullshit, gun, this gangster movie shit, this black people can't shoot shit, that's all out of European imagination. That is all about castigating us in their propaganda to eventually subjugate black people again. If you really want the real. And so that's why there's been a turn up of negative imagery about black people, even on your main social media devices. They taught us how to even denigrate our own image, right? And so that now, even to this day, you can say some old ancestral African, first of all, being able to hit the spot, right, from a distance is shooting. Like, it's not always negative, but shooting can help you kill people. And that's one of the primary reasons why we even developed these archaic weapons. First, you would throw something. That's not necessarily shooting it. But you throw something, and then eventually shooting is involving releasing kinetic energy that pushes a projectile. So that shooting started with the bow and arrow and shit. Or maybe blow darts, but blow darts wasn't before the bow and arrow from history. The bow and arrow was first. And so the shooter, you still see the S and the T, They just say SHOOT now, but it's still connected, but it's not. I don't want to do no pseudo-etymology. Let's talk about the facts. The fact that this STT word, when I pull it to the right, is not about to say shooting. But I just know the root. So how do you get shooting and they talking about wondering, are you talking about mucus or phlegm? Well, it's going to come from something being ejected out of one's mouth, projected out of one's mouth, and they're trying to see, is this mucus or phlegm? Well, we got this, and they're talking about a location. So over here is they say a divinity. Okay, so divinity, right? Divinity, fine. Now, this is the sun's rays, but notice all you see in here consistent is this arrow going through the foxtail because everything else is changing. This determinative right here, it automatically let us know they're talking about the sun in some regard, and it's not multiple suns. This is plurality. So they might be talking about something that deals with plurality with the sun. The rays of the sun which shoot off of the sun. They shoot out, they spit out of the sun, right? Now we simply got the word here, to shoot or to stab. I won't take 10 minutes qualifying everything I read, bruh, but I'm just telling you how we know when I come to this first word mean to shoot, because they didn't have enough space to draw the whole foxtail. You start to learn ancient, like this still represents the same thing as an arrow going in the foxtail, but it's a little different, but it still means to shoot. But I gave you a different word. I said to snare or to entrap, right? And that's what it's, because it's based on shooting, but you might use that word and you might not be shooting nothing. Notice everything is shooting. And just like that pain shot through my back, the ancient Egyptian even used shooting to describe particular pains, right? A shooting pains, shooting pains. Like, come on now, they had the same shit, except they didn't get in no car accident. Hold on. Now we got the sun rays still. Well, y'all know it means to shoot, but I want to look to snare and to entrap, right? Because I want to make sure that I'm not confusing that with a different word. E-N-T-R-A-P. Oh, entrap. E-N-T-R-A-P. To entrap, I said snare and trap, but the word right here is not the same thing. Let's see another word for entrap. How did I confuse entrap with that word? That's how I did it, because of this other word got an H in it though, maybe. Remember, I seen the S and the T and I left out these meaning things, the other word. Okay, I like to know how I make mistakes so I can not make them again. So now he's catching fish, but what is this? This word after that is what? Y'all know that. That's amaki. But you see it in, man. So this is fish being caught by the revered one, Amaki. Well, I can't say Amaki now. So I'll have to read the meta nature for you. Setet, I'm not going to say fish. You can say fish. What words you got for fish? Man. I'm looking through my memory. I can't think of the word for fish. So I'm going to go to the dictionary. Then I'm going to say, oh, man, I knew that. All right, rim. Rim is a type of fish. It should be different ones. Let me see. Redu. Okay, Rimmel. Okay, Rimmel is fish. And you see, they just put the determinative there, but it's not really using the determinative. Here you would have to say Rimmel. So you are Setet Rimmel Why? Because you can't just be catching, you can't just be shooting and then the determinative is there. How would a person know what you were shooting? This is a spoken language. We're just looking at it written. So if he was telling them he was shooting fish, he had to say the word fish. So he said, Satet Rimu. So, oh, let me see, is the food here? Shit probably sitting at my door. Let me see. Nah, he hadn't to me. So he's catching fish now by. This next word is by. So you should say he's not catching fish by a location. This is fish being caught by who? I'm saying Amaki. What y'all say for this? Amaki, right? The revered one. Fish being caught by the revered one or the respected one. And then they say core under. Who is he under? Who is he respected by? He's respected under Osiris. He's respected under Wasir, right here. Now this one gonna mess some of y'all up, so I'm gonna let y'all do this, and then I'm gonna try it too. It's messed me up too. Because you see this land under these two, so y'all don't know this place? I think I know what it is. How you gonna read this? Neb what? Not knowing what this ball means is messing it up. You think this is Neb Nebet? This ain't no two lands. Why you see two lands? Stop playing with me, bro. That's not no two lands. If it is, then teach me. He's the Lord of this bowl, I forgot. And this is a foreign land, so this is a location. It's not Kusei. But then we got the, okay. They just giving us the east right here, right? I bet. Let me show you. I bet. You see this big old feather? I don't know why they drew the feather so big on this type of the east. I'm still calling this the east. The eastern desert. We can see if I'm wrong. The feather gonna be smaller though. On the traditional east, am I wrong? No, well, don't ever be wrong. What's this? Make this smaller. I mean, there's no reason for me to be wrong, but I do recall things sometimes incorrectly, like I think I'm doing now. So that's the West, huh? Because look, if this got, they gonna say that ain't the West either. If the East got the standard with the little thing on top, then the one with the feather gonna be the West. Now when we come to West, look, they got the feather. See, they just didn't see it. The feather on top of that T with that S, that's all that really is, but people don't never look at what the symbol is for West. It is a feather, a T, and an S, but that's not to be pronounced. Those are just the symbols. So no matter how big the feather is, I see a feather, a T, and the S under. He just couldn't get it all in there. And this is clearly the Western Desert, or Amenta. So he's the Lord of some area and the Western Desert. Now he's the foremost. Remember when you see the front of the lion paw, we're just dealing with hot. But the T, they never write the T. But the T is there. If the T ain't there, somebody could explain that. What's up, Ancient Scribe? I do this all day, every day. I hope your monocle got something behind it. Because it don't matter if you got a monocle and you looking real closely, if ain't nothing in your brain to know what I'm teaching, it'll be hard to scrutinize it. So I would love it if you were a reader of the ancient language. But if you're not, you can use one of these dictionaries. This is the Mark Vigas's dictionary, and it is a digital copy of Raymond Faulkner's work combined with some other sources, and it's very good to corroborate when somebody say they're doing something in ancient Egyptian. So what we're dealing with here is Hati Emi-Er. He is the foremost, or the first, or the one in front. He's an ancient, he's a overseer, a Emi-Er. This is an M. You know it's the M bird because out of all birds, again, this V represents, this is just a simple trick. No other ancient Egyptian bird is going to break. Oh, let me say this better. This is the only bird that's looking at you. See how this line is looking to the right? But this bird has its head turned. It's not looking in the same direction as this lion. It's turned looking off the paper in another direction, directly towards me or anyone who's looking at it. And the only bird that does that in the ancient Egyptian language is the M bird. It represents the M sound. But in this word, this is an abbreviation. This is the longer word, Emi-Er, which is an overseer. So he's the foremost overseer of what? You know this axe. This is not an axe. But when you know it, you know that it means what? Netter, right? Netcher, the word netcher, which we translate to God. But the adjective is behind it. So it is the him, Nacher. So if it's not God, then it's something godly. This is a hymn priest. A hymn priest. Well, how come the S ain't part of this reading? Because the S go with this next word. And it's probably his name. So he is the foremost overseer of the hymn priest. It says SNB. Seneb is health, but I don't think this is health because it says Senebi. So it might be the overseer, I'm sorry, the foremost overseer of the hymn priest, Senebi. And the Senebi ends at this reed leaf, which is just an I. SNBI. SNBI, Senebi. How do I know to parse it this way? Just because I've been reading for a while. And let's see if my parsing was true. Ma'akaru. So this means justify, true of voice. So that lets me know it's humans who are justified. Normally when you see, so this represents an M and an A sound. How can I prove this to you with a dictionary? I'll try. This is the M and the A sound. This is also an M sound. And this is an A. So if you was trying to read it like English, it wouldn't work. You got to know the system. It simply just says ma'a, ma'a, ma'a. And this is karu, for a voice. So I can at least prove that, right? I take the dictionary and type voice, and you should see a similar symbol. Voice, V-O-I-C-E. So when you get to karu, the transliteration will also say something like karu. You'll see. See? Karu. Karu. Because this H represents the KH sound like. Now, karu is voice, but notice you're not seeing the same symbols. That's because this is written out different. They use the ru, recumbent lion, and different glyphs. If I keep going, they're going to show you true of voice. This is the actual one that we're going to see. So you see all of the symbols that we find in the text. Here's the M. Remember I said this is the MA, the sickle looking thing. Then I pointed to that straight thing with the weird edge. I said this is another ma sound, but we only pronounce ma-ah. When you see this, you don't say ma, like mama. You say ma'a. And this is our karu right here. If you know that's an R in ancient Egyptian, and this is the KH sound. Ma'akaru means real talk. It means true of voice. When I say real talk, real is true. Talk is voice. So it do mean true of voice. And so when we come back here, what always, only humans are true of voice. An animal couldn't have spoken true statements while he was alive. Only humans could do that. Therefore, we know that this is the human Senebi. So then when we come down here, this person's name is Senebi. Hold on, where did he go? Man, did I change the page? Food on his way. Thank y'all. Let me see. So yeah, this person's name is Senebi. Now let's see if we can qualify that. See, some people would think that this is his name. But what does this say? A S, the same S that you seen in his name, Senebi, but notice it's turned a different way. So now, and this is turned a different way too. So don't say RS. You read this to the right. You gotta go, don't say SR. You gotta go RS. So this says Res Nabet. Damn, I'm forgetting this one. I was gonna say Amaki again, but no, that's the rib spine, but it's not the whole spine. I'm forgetting what that is. A complete one would mean something. I forgot this glyph. I ain't tripping though. I can look it right up and I don't feel like it because my foot on the way. So yeah, that's all he doing. He is just snaring some cattle. His name is Senebi. But this is the big character that we was tripping off, and unfortunately, it don't just say his name right here. It's reading off titles and stuff and all kind of other stuff. So we're gonna have to go to a different page. So you see how limited not them either. I don't think that lady was an Egyptologist. If she was, she just ain't on the level. But I'm gonna show you the most peculiar thing in this out of these attestations. It comes to when they showing them making the statue, right? And just for the record, Egyptians, like this is Nubian culture, man. Because you see dogs hunting with them. Egyptians don't got dogs hunting with them, bro. Come on, man. They got all that from the Nubians. But we talk about 6 and 12 dynasty. So these hunters, these people was just showing their Nubian ancestry, so to speak. Because they put the dogs in the, yeah, look what his name is. Senebi, I told you. Senebi, his name is here again. Senebi the Justified, a truer voice. So, and he got the Nubian feather, man. Y'all can't, I told you I'm not going to lie to you. You're not going to have this feather in your hair if you're an Egyptian. That will be meaning something about my eye. If you got this in your head and you're an Egyptian, you shouldn't be in the soldier scene. If you're in a soldier scene and you got a feather on your head, you're a Nubian. Prove me wrong. Most people know this shit. Oh, my food at the door, man. I love y'all. I gotta bust a move though. I ain't all day. I've been teaching. This 3 hours we into this teaching. All right, then we go surprise the wifey. Thanks for the contribution to the show. It is Smash Rock Wellington, his elegance. On Cash App is Smash Rock too. I might come back because I got hella time on my hands. I'm about to go to New York in a couple days. I got in an accident. If I don't go to the hospital, if my back start hurting again, I'm going anyway. But I don't think I'm going to go right now. But I want to thank y'all for contributing to the show, and doing all that good stuff. I just was looking to see if I needed to tell somebody else thank you. It looked like I do need to, so I'm going to just try to do that real quick. Or maybe they was talking about the same, my man from earlier. All right, I appreciate y'all. All right, I'll be back. Oh, no, I'll see